Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. This is Brian Kuh with another Friday night live stream. Thank you all for being here. Bus driver, congrats on being first. Popo, congrats on being either second or first once the stream was officially underway. In either case, glad to have you boys here. Glad to have everybody else here. If you are here and you are not subscribed to my channel, please throw a sub my way. We are getting very close to 2,000 subs. Khaled, thank you for the dono. Thank you so much for the dono. While I would prefer to have you migrate to 1770, the donations are a wonderful consolation prize. Khalid's a very solid whale in this game. Or, you know, just a solid player. And I did send him a message a few weeks ago saying, hey, it'd be cool if you wanted to come to 770, but he said some players were leaving his kingdom and he wanted to stick around and, you know, keep things going well there. So I can certainly respect that. And yeah, but if you are not subbed, I would appreciate the sub. The thumbnail says Road to 2,000 subs. I believe the title of the stream is Can We Hit 2,000 Subs Tonight? It's going to be tough to do that. It is going to be tough to do that. But you never know. You never know. Don't have a whole lot planned for tonight, but we'll see what we can, what kind of hijinks we can get into. Natsu, welcome. Kildy, welcome. A lot of big names. A lot of kill points. Jumping into the chat here early on. Only because I haven't looked at this at all. I was just curious if there's any fighting going on anywhere. Looks like maybe we have a little bit of fighting in some of the heroic anthems. Alright, so we probably have some action that we can spectate later. Looks like these are smaller kingdoms, but... What, are these guys in Kingsland now? This is either going to be Kingsland or level 7 passes, so... Okay, so 1648. We got 1648 in action. We got 1393 in action. That's kind of interesting. So yeah, we've got some wars we can spectate later. We can certainly talk about what's ever on your mind, whatever is on my mind. I don't really know what's going on in Rock at the moment. I'm, you know, I am someone who is honest and thinks out loud, and so I will be honest and say I have spent most of the week betting on sports, watching sports, preparing my bets for the weekend. I spent 5 or 6 hours this morning and afternoon getting a bunch of baseball bets ready for the action tonight. Irgandir, welcome. Kildy says 960 has some chaining action going on. Well, I mean, I can give you chaining action. I can give you chaining action, and we can do a second session of studying whether barb chaining has been nerfed or not. I think it's safe to say barb chaining has been nerfed. I'm planning to do a video, maybe next week, whenever I get more footage. I basically just need to record when I'm chaining, and every once in a while you get a barb that completely ignores you, and when that happens, you can, you know, save that video file and title it, and then do a video down the road. But yeah, you know, I haven't really thought about ROK all that much this week. My business has been quite slow. Like, I'm not even prepared to barb chain because, like, I've got too much equipment on some of these marches, so they just kill barbs way too fast. But yeah, I've just been... my work has been very slow, and so I've been doing my side hustles quite a bit this week. I've been playing poker, I've been betting on sports, I've been making YouTube videos. So my mind has not really been in Rise of Kingdoms. It hasn't been in like this normal groove. Because actually what happens when I'm working, when I'm just typing, is I really don't have to think too hard, and so I can think about other stuff, and if I have Rise of Kingdoms open, I'll tab over to Rise of Kingdoms from time to time, and that will just get me sort of like thinking about the game and like staying up to date on stuff. But I've kind of just been like logging in, doing some daily stuff. I've been chaining, but not a ton. So Irgun just says, is the new items button animation introduced in this update the worst design decision in the history of mankind, or am I overreacting? So that's a good example of like how I've been playing the game but haven't been thinking about it. Because I've seen that icon. I have seen that icon, and I have no idea what it does. Let me make sure the music's still playing. I'm not like hearing anything. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, I don't know what that button does. I actually don't know what that button does. So I think it shows up in the merchant, right? Like if I buy something in the merchant, yeah. Okay, so what does this button do? Like, what does it do? Like, I'll click on it, right? Okay, well, what does it do? It just shows that items goes into. It just shows that items go into a bag. So I mean, no, that's not the worst design decision. I have a thing that I need to bring up. I'll bring it up in a bit. I did have one thought about Rise of Kingdoms this week while I was editing a video that has not come out yet. So no, Irgun, that is not the worst design decision in the history of the game, but it is weird. It is definitely weird. They should, like, pop up, like, if they're just gonna pop up something that's pointless... If they're gonna pop up something that's pointless while you're, like, in the Mysterious Merchant or something, then they should just, like, pop up, They should just, like, pop up Matilda in a bikini or something like that. If you're gonna pop something up that's, like, has no point, then at least make it, you know, appealing. I mean, who needs a bag? Right? My bags are already secured. I don't need another bag. I have plenty of bags. I've got my Bitcoin bag. I've got my Ethereum bag. I've got bags on a bunch of sports betting sites. You know. We're square. We're good on the bags. So give us some quality pop-ups instead. But to segue into, man, this music is weird. Sorry. Okay, it is playing. All right, it is playing. So here, let me throw a worst design decision in ROK history at y'all. And this is actually like this is like a deep one. This is like a significant one. Is Surprise Strike the worst design decision in the history of ROK? This skill that makes swarming garrisons stronger, and most importantly, this skill that makes swarming rallies stronger. It gives every march 10% more damage when they're swarming a rally. Is this not the worst design decision in the history of the game? Because now every rally gets swarmed. Every garrison gets swarmed. You have to have, like, complete field advantage to run a rally. If you don't have total field advantage, then you actually cannot burn anything because they're just going to swarm it down. I kind of think Surprise Strike might be the worst design decision in the history of ROK. It doesn't add anything good. Like, there's no way this adds anything good. It motivates whales to spend money a little faster to max their crystal tech. But man, has this made the game worse. I'm editing a video from a war a year ago, which maybe Surprise Strike was in the game back then. Maybe. But basically in the video, one of our rally leaders, Froppy, he's like, he's rallying with Henry Zug, and we're fighting the enemy underneath the flag. And we literally use his rally to win the open field fight, right? Because it does so much AoE that it's wounding a lot of the enemy marches near the rally. And the enemies that swarm his rally take like pretty bad trades. And that was a year ago. That was like about like 13 months ago that happened. Or no, that was 12 months ago that happened. And I honestly haven't seen a fight scene like that since. Like, we honestly have not used a rally to win an open field fight since. Because rallies just melt so fast to swarming now. Kildy says, I just played Orleans. 80% of the time, the rally didn't even hit the flag before it burned. War Koopa, welcome to the stream. I heard you hate Mr. Siege. I do not hate Mr. Siege. I've never actually talked to Mr. Siege, but I have watched some of his videos. I'm not a huge fan of the meta that Mr. Siege promotes, because I don't think Siege is like... I don't think it's like all that good for the game. I don't think it's horrible for the game, but I don't think it's all that good. But no, Mr. Siege is cool. I've even watched Mr. Siege play Ark of Osiris, which is with his Siege marches. Now, I didn't watch the entire match, but I did watch it to like see what was going on. Oh, Koopa, you just made that up. Well, listen, man. I'm an inexperienced streamer who, if you tell complete propaganda in my channel, I will oftentimes amplify that propaganda instead of ignoring it. So you've figured out the exploitable tactic and taken full advantage of it. And that just says more debuffs now, especially Herman and Belly. Yeah, there are more debuffs as well, but man, like, honestly, like 10% extra damage on every march that's swarming is like pretty strong, man. Like, that changes the trade quite a bit. And I think we can all agree that like swarmers are getting too good of a trade on both rallies and garrisons, right? I think we can all agree that swarmers are getting too much of a trade. And I would say Surprise Strike has partly to do with that, and obviously KVKs like Orleans or Alliance Invictus, where Bastion skills literally only work on open field marches. They don't work on garrisons or rallies, which is like really crazy, man. Really crazy. Do we still have this? Yeah. Yeah, so I really haven't been paying attention to what's going on. Popo wants me to open the kingdom door. I cannot do that, Popo. I'm on my account, and I have access to no other accounts. I only have this one account. I have no way to get to any other account. Wally Weaver says, teach us noobs how to chains and what troops to use, 12 days old and never chained. Well, honestly, right now, Wally, I'm really like not chaining well at all. I'm just like bringing my marches out and just like doing really small chains. So like, the problem that I have at this point in the KBK is that my marches, they just kill the barbs way too fast. So what I tried doing was just bringing all tier 4 on the double C Heraclius. But I should have put the heal. I should have put the heal skill on it. And then the Zug Richard kills things a little bit slower, but this thing still just kills stuff way too fast. So, Wally, let's just learn together on this stream. I'm open to maybe even bringing some of these marches home and just tweaking things a little bit so that I chain better. We'll see what happens. Lord Server, welcome to the stream. Hi, issue as well. 430k marches versus 2 million rally. You got 7 marches of that 430k. Oh boy, that rally doesn't do much. Yeah, that's a good point too, right? 430k marches versus 2 million is like not that big of a difference. Yeah, so it's yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, we sort of take advantage of the swarming meta, I would say, as much as we lose to it, but it's like not great. The gameplay is not great in that sense. You know, as much as I don't know. Here's what works. What works is that, like, if you win the open field, you get like a pretty solid advantage. You don't get like a huge advantage. You just get like a solid advantage, right? Where you can swarm garrisons, you can reinforce your rallies pretty easily. At the same time, the enemy, the defense has a chance to do well because they can swarm the rally. And if they swarm the rally but you have full field control, then like their swarmers do get punished pretty hard. So like the game is like, it's like balanced, but it's balanced because like both sides can like swarm really well. You know, I think that's how I would describe it right now. So like if they were to nerf swarming like in both directions, would it still be balanced? That's the question, right? I feel like if they nerf swarming in both directions, that maybe garrisons would be better off because like they couldn't get swarmed as effectively. Because it's like it's hard to burn a garrison with just a rally. Like you need a bit of swarm in there at the right time. War Koopa says if you have field, the enemy can't rally. Oh yeah. I mean, even if the field is contested, you can't rally. You have to have full field control to rally at this point. Whereas like a year ago, and I'm gonna release a video about this on Sunday. A year ago, if you had just like slight open field control and you ran like an archer rally, you could use the rally to give yourself more control. And I just don't think that works anymore. You know, I think that in a lot of formats, it's just swarming a rally is just too strong now. Algebra, welcome to the stream. Good to have so many. Oh, Clown! I didn't even say hi to Clown. Clown, welcome to the stream as well. Good to have so many members of 1770 in here. You know, I'm just gonna try to get back. I'm gonna try to theory craft what's happening in Rise of Kingdoms in real time on this stream. That is what I do quite a bit, right? I do a lot of my thinking when I'm streaming, when talking with you all. And I don't have anything in particular that I need to theory craft. It's more just like updating myself on what I need to do in this KVK. So like, am I going to get all the Bastion quests done? I need to get 25 more done. And I've got 4 days. That seems very doable, but I'm going to be honest and say that I've been doing like 4 or 5 Bastion quests per day. Like I have this fort one. Like I have this fort Bastion quest open right now, and I'm not even like doing it. I'm not even doing it. Let me get this thing going. Orkupa says, personal question, how many hours do you spend fighting? Koopa, I will answer that shortly. Because I am going to talk about my KVK performance as a whole. And I think the amount of time that I spend fighting is a major factor in how I assess my performance in this KVK. Okay, so here's like a good chaining example, right? Can I get, like, here's the thing with a chaining example like this. Like right now, okay, I'm kind of like looking at my phone. I'm joining the rally on my phone. I'm not really watching. Usually I'm like, doing something else on my PC. And it's like this double C kills stuff so quick, especially when it's at full health, that if you like look away, if you just look over to this Zoog, this double C Hera is just going to kill stuff so fast that you've already like failed. You've already failed the chain. Now here, it's low health, so it's kind of dying a little bit slower, and we can get this chain actually. Kildy says, I just got 16 YSS sets from Daily. Yeah, see, earlier this week, I did like the first day of More Than Gems. Like, here's an example of how I'm just a little bit out of it, right? Well, first of all, let me make sure I get this chain. Okay, all right. So, I'm like very close to VIP 18, so I really do need to like buy VIP points whenever I get a chance. But on the second day of More Than Gems, I literally forgot to do it. I went and played poker. I woke up, had my typical slow morning, didn't really log into the game. Then I went and played poker, and I was like, oh, whatever I have to do in the game, I'll just like do it on my phone while I'm playing poker. But then, if the conversation at a poker table is good, or like there's sports to watch on TV or whatever, then sometimes I don't even open up my phone. I don't even open up Rise of Kingdoms. Because it's a little bit antisocial, to be honest. And so then I never logged into the game. And I didn't even do day 2 of More Than Gems. So I left 25k VIP points and like 13 gold heads just on the table. I just missed them. I lost out on them because I was just like busy doing other stuff, and I wasn't like, fully focused on Rise of Kingdoms every second of the day. So the top 10 in kills or deaths get autarchs now? Yeah, I think the top 10 in a lot of things get 10... I think the top... Dude, I don't even remember where these autarch things are. Okay. Yeah, I think top 10 in kills will get autarchs. I think top 10 in deads will get autarchs. So you can see that Whale Su, which is Natsu's evil uncle. You can see that Whale Su is actually 10th and will get an autarch. And top 10 in heal points. Top 10 in heal points will also get an autarch. So actually it looks like Uni's going to get an autarch. Now the question is, do you get 2? Do you get 2 autarchs? If you get top... so White Castle is 5th in kill points and 3rd in healing. Does that mean he gets 2 autarchs? AG, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the pre-congrats on your 2K subs. It was very nice to meet AG in person about a week ago. We went and had Korean barbecue, me and ROK Gosu and AG and another player named Jay, who's in 1302. Great meal. Best meal I've had in quite a while, actually. And AG did a great job of ordering for the table and cooking all the meat and stuff. So, yeah, shout out to you, Adrian. Pomo says, what do you think of Wild Lion or Mr. Hope? I forgot which one, saying they're getting ready for 1960. Well, I guess they're going to have to wait a while, because isn't 1960 in a rest KVK, easy win KVK right now? So I guess they'll be waiting for quite a while. Unless they're getting ready to migrate to 1960, which I doubt is what they were saying. Yep, we'll definitely have to do that again. That was great. And I will need to start planning the Las Vegas bonfire as well, right? If you ever see Gosu again, tell him War Koopa loves him. Yeah, I get lots of different messages about when you see Gosu, do this or that, right? Because like Eli told me, when you see Gosu, punch him in the face. Which I did not do, by the way. Popo says that the 960 KVK will not be easy. Interesting. But, so I don't even remember if the last chain I did worked, but anyway. Yeah, I don't know, man. The chaining is fine. The chaining is fine. Actually, like, no one is chaining, so, like, the chaining here in the start zone is not terrible. But as I, like, look around here, it's like, you gotta keep paying attention to the double C. You can't get two. Popo says you cannot get two autarchs. Gotcha. Hildy says no doubt it will be an easy win. Yeah, because I heard that it's... Yeah, because if it's 1v1v2, like one camp is like sitting out, so... If one camp is sitting out, then I would agree that of course it will be an easy win. I did see Ihara's stream for like 1 second today. I just sort of like saw the thumbnail. And I just saw like a ton of people on both sides of a pass. It was like a very good visual where there were just absolutely a ton of people on both sides of the pass. Now, I could go and try to hit this 45, but I'm actually interested in something about this expedition leaderboard, which is Uni. So Uni was 579 in kill points. Uni was 579 in kill points, but 554 in healing. So he was 20k different, or 20 million difference. What's my ratio? My ratio is like 28k difference. I'm surprised that Uni's ratio is so low. I mean, Uni has like a very good account, and he's a very good player. I guess he was being very aggressive. And what's White Castle's ratio? 697 and 727. So actually, White Castle's ratio is about the same as Uni. And I would have thought that Uni was not, got better trades than White Castle, because White Castle plays super aggressive. Uni, I would say, just plays, mostly aggressive, or like, smartly aggressive. Let's see what Froppy did. Let's see what Froppy's ratio is here. So I mean, not Froppy. I mean Whalesu. Let's look at Algebra's. Let's look at Algebra's ratio. 405 million to... Where's Algebra? 405 million to 222. So, man, that's crazy. The ratio difference between Uni and Algebra is wild, man. That's wild. I think you guys need to have a... you need to have, like, a meeting with each other to figure out, like, why these differences are so... Like, who's supposed to go in the other direction? Is Uni supposed to come closer to Algebra, or is Algebra supposed to come closer to Uni? Because you guys are fighting very differently. Very, very differently. Algebra's ratio is like 2-to-1, and Uni's is almost 1-to-1. So that's pretty wild, man. That is pretty wild. Well, Weaver says he was whale tanking, probably. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Uni was definitely whale tanking. White Castle definitely whale tanks. Let's look at Froppy. So Froppy's at 291 in heals. Where is Froppy on this list? 308. So his ratio is like a little bit positive as well. I mean, you can see that we just have a tough... Man, we just have so many tough KVKs. When somebody like Uni, who's like a very, very good player and has like a very good account, when he's like barely going positive on the kills to heal ratio here, that's a tough KVK, man. That's a tough open field situation. For sure. The other thing that's relevant about this Autark leaderboard is I basically went from 108th place to 98th place with the exact same score because at least 10 people above me have migrated out of this Lost Kingdom already, right? Which is pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I know Yar was ahead of me, so Yar migrated out. I heard today that Yar migrated to 2377. And that's the only person I can name who migrated out, but I'm sure it's a lot more people from 2268 who migrated out. Evil Clown says top 100 is great. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. I mean, I think I was 12th in our kingdom in kill points. I got 900 million KP. And yeah, I think that leads us, that's a good segue into talking about our performance as a kingdom and my performance as a kingdom in this KVK. Let's go ahead and talk about that. So, well, okay, so these chains are done, right? Yeah, these chains are done. So, obviously we lost. We lost the KVK. We expected to lose. The best way for me to phrase this, or to contextualize this, is to talk about Addy Navo's assessment first. And so what Addy Navo has said publicly, and I have not spoken to him privately. I actually haven't spoken to Addy in, I don't know, like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll talk during our ARC match on Sunday. But Addy's assessment of this publicly, I don't know how he feels privately, but his assessment publicly is that we accomplished everything we could have accomplished in this KVK. And what does he mean by that? He means that we won in Wei Ji very convincingly. We beat Earth Camp very convincingly in Wei Ji. Where at the beginning of this zone, they did try hard. They absolutely tried hard, but we just got all our forts up and played very well, and so they kind of gave up very quickly. Which was smart on their part, and it did not hurt them in the end. But we had a very good performance in this zone, and I think we showed, along with our campmates, we showed, like, when we have an advantage against an opponent, how dominant we can be, right? Then we also won all of our altar fights against Water Camp, including our rivals in 1824. And then we went into Zone 6. And in Zone 6, what we did was we had a very, very good start, where well, I'm not going to describe what we did because we might want to do it again in the future, but essentially 1824 was unable to stop us from building all the way to this pass, like very, very close to this pass. We got 2 forts up over here. We destroyed an enemy fort that was being built over here. We protected all of our territory, secured our entrance into Kingsland. And we would have gotten to this pass if Greenwood had not been able to help 1824 and push back, right? So, we accomplished everything we could in this zone, and then obviously Kingsland occurred. Fire Camp was blocked out. We didn't fight for very long. We lost, and it is what it is. And I should go ahead and find the stats for this KVK. Does anyone have the stats? If anybody in my kingdom has like the kingdom by kingdom stats of this KVK, that would be That would be helpful, I would say, to show everybody what's going on. I might be able to find it very quickly. I might not. Let me take a look. But anyway, our kill points were good. Like, our kill points were solid. Okay, actually, I have them. I have them right here. I have them right here. Here we go. Yeah, so here are the kill points. So let's see here. You know, we had, and this is only the top 500. This doesn't account for all the farms. So I think once you include the farms, we likely had the most deaths of any kingdom. We had the most kill points of anybody on our side. We had more KP than 1824. Obviously, we had an entire other zone than they had. And we had a very good campmate. But yeah, I mean, we had very good kill points, the most deaths. We took all the territory. By the way, look at how many kill points Earth had, right? Like, this... I mean, look, as expected, the two Vietnamese whale kingdoms had the most KP, like, as expected. Earth, I mean, at the end of the day, Earth... I guess they played well. I mean, yeah, Earth, I guess, was strong-ish, but I mean, at the same time, we just wrecked them in this zone, and they were not impressive in this zone, so I don't even know what to say about Earth, but obviously they had a lot of kill points. But anyway, long story short, Addy's perspective is, we won Zone 6, we won all the altar fights, or we won Zone 5, we won all the altar fights, we won Zone 6, we 100% won Zone 6, where we secured both of our passes. Our team secured both passes, even though we were split up. And we had, like, more territory closer to their pass as well. And so, like, so Addy's assessment is this was a very successful KVK. We did what we could do, right? Popo says Earth was fighting farmers, though. Yeah, I mean, there was probably some there's probably some pointless fighting in some of these zones and stuff like that. I don't know. So that's Addy's assessment. What is my assessment of this KP? Because here's the thing you got to know about Addy's assessment. We are doing a very big, you know, recruitment drive right now, right? We're going to ask a lot of players to leave. Okay, we're going to ask a lot of players to leave. And we're going to have a lot of players who just are in Domain 2, right? We're going to really, really, really trim the fat in our kingdom after this KVK. And in the process of trimming the fat, we are going to also add more players, right? We're going to add, you know, more people who have good kill points. We're going to add more people who join voice chat during war. And we're going to add more people who are just active players, because at the end of the day, we have a lot of people who used to be active in this game, but are no longer active. And we just haven't removed them. And look, I don't know the fate of players. I've not looked at the contribution. I'm gonna point out somebody who I think he can take it. But so let's talk about Japarl, right? Japarl. As you can see, Japarl has a very, very old ID. His ID is basically the same as mine and Addy Navos. Japarl is from our original kingdom, Kingdom 131. There are only 3 people in our alliance who are still from our original kingdom. Me, Addy Navo, and Japarl. And Japarl's a very good player, but, you know, he's married dude, successful dude. He has a wine cellar in his house. He's got kids, and he just doesn't play the game that much anymore. I mean, look at his autark, right? His highest autark is 14 million kill points, right? But he's walking around with 89 million power. So a guy like Japarl in most kingdoms would have probably been asked to leave like a while ago, because we know that Japarl he just doesn't play the game that much anymore. When he's around, he plays hard, he plays well, all that stuff, but he just doesn't play that much anymore. And we've just let people like Japaro hang around for a year plus at this point, right? We've got players on our roster who have been here for a year plus who just haven't been very active. Because we're just like not that serious of a kingdom. And we kind of like we like to, there's friendships here. There are friendships here. And friendships will sometimes allow you to stay longer than your activity dictates. You know what I mean? And so we're going to trim a lot of fat, and we're going to recruit a lot more people. And so Addy's definitely, going to put a nice spin on this KVK performance. And I will also say that Addy Nabo had a great KVK. As the leader of this kingdom, this may have been his best KVK. I was less involved, and Addy sort of like picked up the slack, I would say. And he was just very, very good. Like, he was always on. He made a lot of very good reads. Great territory building. Very calm presence. Very good vibes. Addy's like really on top of his game. I don't know how long he will be able to maintain this. But, you have to take his assessment very seriously. It's like, yeah, we did everything that we can do. We did everything we can do, right? But how do I feel about it? How do I feel about this KVK? Well, I inevitably assess a KVK performance more so through my own experience rather than assessing the team as a whole. And I feel like I didn't play all that well. I played decent, but I didn't play like above average, right? And that's, I think, partly why I haven't streamed all that much, is because I'm just like not thrilled with my performance. And in all honesty, I'm a little bit burnt out on war in this game at the moment. I'm a little burnt out on just having one very tough war after another and always being the underdog in the field. So I kind of I don't know. I'm burnt out on like trying extra hard to win a war. I'm burnt out on like, doing that extra effort to like fight for like 8 hours straight, even though we know we're gonna lose, even though we're really just fighting to like create content for people. Because like a lot of times when you do something organized and you like, try to defend something, like a pass, right? Like we could have defended some of these passes, right? We could have maybe defended the pass out of Kingsland at a certain point. I've got an Eleanor garrison. We could have defended, there were some times where maybe we could have fought back in Wei Ji, where I could have like, got online and like organized something to fight just for the sake of giving people content, giving people an organized effort to do something. I sort of just like I'm burnt out on doing that, honestly. Like I'm burnt out on going to that extra effort. Like I've just done it so many times. I've accomplished a lot in this game. I don't feel the need to like prove myself for like no real reason. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. Like I've played this game for 6 years, and sometimes you just want to like sit on the couch and watch TV instead of like fight for no reason, kind of a thing, So for me, I don't know. I did a much less leading in this KVK than I've done in past KVKs. I also got a lot of farms zeroed. A lot of my farms got zeroed in this KVK. Like a kind of like crazy number of my farms got zeroed. Basically what would happen is that I would, I would put when we would be defending a flag, I would put a farm next to a flag, but I would put it in a different alliance and shield it so that I didn't take AoE as I was reinforcing. So I didn't take like AoE from the Archer Rally or from the Swarming Marches as I reinforced. But then the shield would wear out. I would do like an 8-hour shield, and then it would just wear out. and I would not realize that 8 hours had passed. So I didn't lead quite as much. I got a lot of farms killed. And, you know, as much as I did a bunch of things well, I can't help but look at the things I did badly and be like, well, I didn't really play that great. So for me, and we didn't really defend Zone 6. We let them retake Wei Ji without a fight. I mean, these are pointless fights. Like, don't get me wrong, these are pointless fights. We'd already lost. But, you know, I mean, our KP, I mean, for having a whole extra zone, compared to like 1824, I don't know that our KP is that great. Obviously, we were like outnumbered when we fought wood and water, but I don't know. I mean, I think we played okay. I think we played good, but we just have like a lot of dead weight that we need to trim. Our core is like very, very good. Adinavo is like extremely good. If I can reconfigure my role, I can be very good. So, I mean, we played fine. I don't know. I wouldn't say we played great, but I think we played fine. Let's see. Field is ND still will be king. I get what Brian is saying. Fatty says, same, very good point. Yeah, so I mean, and we share KP with 1486. Yeah, that's a factor as well. But it's a factor that we had a good campmate. Anyway, so like my assessment is we played fine. And I feel like I played fine as well. Like, I've talked about the bad things I did, but let me talk about the good things. I was very good on the opening into Wei Ji. I sort of like was setting the markers for the opening into Wei Ji. We had a very good opening here in this zone, and basically we just blitzed the first 12 hours. We played great and just wrecked them in Wei Ji. I was also very good on the opening in Zone 6, and we accomplished everything we needed to accomplish in Zone 6. I did a good job at the altars, helping with leading at those. I was 12th in kill points. I was probably first in deads when you factor in all my farms. I mean, if you factor in all the farms that I got zeroed, then I'm 100% first in deads. But even if you just like remove the farms that got zeroed and just include the farms that did good work, I think I was probably first in the kingdom in deads. So I was 12th in KP, first in deads, was a garrison leader, a rally leader, and like an actual leader. So that's like very good contribution overall, for sure. Like that's if I were just like a regular player and didn't have higher standards, it would be like, oh yeah, Brian played great. 12th in KP, first in deads. That's great. I spent like the 2 days before Zone 6 opened, I basically spent 2 entire days transferring resources from our banks to players and training troops on farms. So I mean, I transferred like billions and billions of resources to people who needed it, and very few people ran out of resources. So I think that was good also. And so there's a way for me to play this game going forward where just I do a little bit less leading, but I just like do all the contributory stuff that I enjoy doing, and I'm still like a very, very good contributor, but I don't burn out, right? Like the thing is, I don't want to burn out. Fatty, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Irgun just says, what do you want your role to be in the future? Yeah, that's a very good question, Irgun dear. So what I want my role to be is I want to still be a leader. I want there to not be expectations that when Adinavo is offline, I'm going to be online, and therefore we're going to have like very good 24-hour coverage for leaders. I'm no longer going to be like a graveyard shift player. You know, I need to wake up early in the morning for my business, and so like I end up kind of like having the same schedule as Adinavo. I just want to be like, again, I want to be like, I play a lot. I do a lot in the open field. I do a ton with my farms. I'm a garrison leader when needed. I'm a rally leader when needed. I'm a marker setter and, you know, like voice chat leader at various times, but like not quite as much as I was in the past. I'll be honest, the big thing that burnt me out, the biggest moment of burnout I had was like, so we were, this was when Zone 6 opened, right? Zone 6 opened. We got all the territory that we wanted. Here, let me just open a video. Let me just play a video of what this was. That's not it. That's not it. Here it is, I think. Yeah, here we go. How long is this video? Let's see, where do we want to... Let me see if I can get like a zoom out here somewhere. Here we go. Wait, this isn't it. Oh, is this KL? Oh, never mind, that's KL. I'm looking at the wrong one. Yes, let me just... I just want to cover like when I actually burnt out on this KVK. Because I think it's like kind of instructive, actually. Okay, so this is like midway through when I burnt out. So basically what happened was that like we accomplished everything we wanted at the start of the zone. We were kind of fighting we were fighting on HDS territory, and it was like a not very important area, and Addy just kept kind of like I've played with this dude for a long time, so like I know when he's like trying to like tell me something. He kept like mentioning like 1486 is where the important fighting is, you know, and like he just wanted me to shift my focus to 1486. And it's like, I came over to 1486 and, you know, they don't play defense as well as we do. You know, I had to be in like a different Kingdoms alliance and like ask for R4 and like, am I supposed to lead these defenses or is somebody else supposed to lead these defenses? Am I supposed to like put one of our garrison captains in these flags, or are we like going to count on one of 1486's garrisons? Like the big thing here is like the cities around the flag were not like what we wanted, right? Like when it's HDS territory, we can put the cities we want next to a flag, but like in this case, 1486 was putting their cities next to a flag. And this was like hour 5 or 6 of like Zone 6 opening. And like, in all honesty, this was just like, it was too annoying for me. Like it was too much effort. It was too much effort to do this correctly out of someone else's alliance. And I would have just preferred to like fight in a semi-pointless area in my own alliance and just like have no friction, right? Like essentially I went from a situation that was not that important, that was enjoyable and had no friction, to a situation that had a lot of friction, was important, but was not fun at all, right? And back in the day, I would do that stuff because like I really cared about like us doing like the best we possibly could. I really cared about like me being as good of a player and as good of a leader as I possibly could be. But I just don't care that much anymore. Like I just have done that enough. Like for me, what we've accomplished in this game is like, I'm happy with that. And if we don't get any better and we just stay at the level we're at, I'm like completely content with that. You know what I mean? And so as far as my role, it's kind of like that, right? I want my role to be like as it has always been, but like in certain situations, I'm just going to be like a little more casual about it. Paco, welcome to the stream. Good to have you reuniting with Fatty here. Fatty, by the way, congratulations on the big migration to 2217. I was listening very briefly to Sneaky's coaching session with Bus Driver, and he pointed out that you guys had like a very big migration, so congrats on that. We are going through the same thing right now, which, you know, me being honest about how I feel about the game and being honest about how I feel about our performance in this KVK is probably not necessarily the best recruitment pitch, but you know, I am an honest person. I'm not gonna be like dishonest on my YouTube channel just so that we can like recruit a couple additional players, right? But you know, we are trying to recruit right now. We're definitely recruiting. If you're someone who has like, you know, 4 billion plus KP, if you're someone who can get 20 million, maybe 25 million or more autark kills per autark, if your all-time high on most units killed is like 25 million or higher, then you can, there's a good chance you can qualify for 770, especially if you spend a bit on Crystal Tech, and if you are willing to be on voice chat during war, you can definitely get into 770. I think a lot of kingdoms at our level would not accept you, but our standards are a little bit lower. Our standards are lower than other kingdoms at our level, and so if you're that type of player who can't get into, for example, if you cannot get into 2217, but you want to be in a very competitive A kingdom, then I would look our way, 100%. So Algebra says, now we need like 40 million kills on Artuk, to be honest. Exceptions for some players. Yeah, listen, my standards are lower than the rest of the recruitment committee, right? See, I think 25 is like, we have to consider 25 million. But Algebra might say no. I'm only one vote. Algebra is another vote. I have the lowest requirements. I have the lowest requirements of anybody. Algebra is more on the high side. I just think I'm like trying to be realistic about what we can actually bring in, right? I'm a little bit worried about how many fighters we can actually recruit, right? Because the truth is, if we do things the way Algebra wants, we're probably going to kick out like 40 people. Like, if it's up to Algebra, we're going to kick out more than 40 people from our kingdom. So to replace 40 people is like really hard to do. If we could get 15 quality fighters, I would be thrilled. I would be thrilled if we can get 15. Danky, welcome to the stream. Let me go ahead and bring this double C home here. But so yeah, we're like in the midst of recruiting, and this is just like a very weird KVK. It's just like a weird KVK to come out of to recruit. Fatty says, nah, you're underestimating yourselves, Brian. 770 is very good, man. Clear some deadweight and top 5 A seed. Yeah, so this is kind of like what my pitch would... What Fatty just said is also what my pitch would be, which is that, like... Here's the thing, we are going to clear our dead weight. Like, we accomplished what we accomplished in this KVK, and we accomplished what we accomplished in our last KVK, which was a very big win against 2268 and allies. We accomplished all that with like a lot of dead weight. Like a lot of dead weight. Like, we have a lot of dead weight that we're going to get rid of. A lot. A lot. Like, this guy Borm, he doesn't even play anymore. Like, Borm did 0 KP in this KVK. Like, he took a break from playing. You know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of dead weight, guys, that we're going to get rid of. A lot. Like, we have more dead weight than, like, any other kingdom at our level. I mean, we have a lot, okay? We have a lot of dead weight. Like, we have a lot of dead weight. And we're going to get rid of that. And that's going to, like, make us a better kingdom. It's going to make us smaller, but it's going to make us a better kingdom. And so you have to like look through the fact that we lost this KVK to see the potential that's here. You have to look and see the potential that's here. Because like I said, man, Eddie honestly had like his best KVK. Like this dude was online so much. He was like the leader of our entire coalition. He had some very, very good build plans, very good shot calling, like super engaged, you know, like really pushed the action many, many times. If he remains as dedicated to this game, and if he's like as passionate about becoming like a great leader in this game as he was during this KVK, then he's literally one of the best leaders in the game. Like he's literally just one of the best leaders in the entire game, right? And he has like a very good group around him, including myself. Very, very good core of players. Very good core. And we're just going to get rid of our dead weight, and we're going to be a good kingdom for people to go to, right? Even if I'm a little burnt out right now, believe me, guys, if we trim down and we get into a matchup where we like actually are like equal in the open field to the enemy, I'll probably get over my burnout very quickly, right? I'll probably get over my burnout very quickly if we have like a winnable KVK where like we're not just, you know, defending the whole time, right? Danky, welcome to the stream. I'm not sure if I welcome Danky. Danky is in KVK right now with 1960. Danky says, game started to feel like running a marathon where the finish line permanently moves back. Well, you know, the thing that I experienced this week with sports betting was that, like, the nice thing about sports betting is, like, I literally did not bet on sports for 3 straight months. Like, once the NBA season stopped, I just didn't do any sports betting at all. This week I had some free time. I'm getting back into football. That caused me to then also get back into like baseball betting. And the thing is, I could just pick it up like nothing happened, you know? Like, I mean, I missed out on a little bit of like knowledge of what's happening in baseball, but like there's no punishment. There's no punishment for not playing the sports betting game for 3 straight months. But Rise of Kingdoms just does not have that. Like, if you take a 3-month break, if your mind goes somewhere else for 3 months, you can't just come right back. You have to, like, find a new kingdom. You have to, like, you know, you're behind on armaments, you're behind on gear, you're behind on gold heads, you're behind on commanders. And, you know, if you're, like, a leader of a kingdom, people are also like, well, this kingdom isn't what it used to be. This alliance is not what it used to be, because this leader is no longer involved, you know? So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just need to take a bit of a break, you know? I just need to take a bit of a break. It's football season. I'm doing pretty well at football betting so far. I see some edges out there. I actually do better at basketball betting than I do at football betting. And so I kind of just want to like focus on sports betting for a while and not, you know, be super hardcore about rock. And you know, the kingdom just kind of needs to meet me halfway on that one a little bit. And I think they're fine with that. I think they're fine with that, because yeah, Algebra, I meant to White Castle, welcome to the stream. Our longtime whale, White Castle. He is someone who has some very strong opinions about what we need to do in this kingdom. He is definitely on board with us getting rid of 40 or more people. White Castle definitely wants us to trim the fat. And, you know, nobody disagrees. We all agree with him on that. But yeah, Algebra, I just need to show you the link of the really sharp dude that I follow. I can tell you, I can tell all you guys. I can show all you guys. Yeah, I'll give you guys all some like really good alpha right now for sports betting. So, yeah, this is Right Angle Sports. Right Angle Sports is a very, if you just Google Right Angle Sports, you'll find this channel. Right Angle Sports has been around for like 20 plus years. They do charge for picks, but what they do in the NFL is there's this guy Adam, and he basically does a daily update about the NFL betting market, and he gives his opinion on like every game. He doesn't give out a ton of picks. He gives out picks here and there, but like he tells you what side he leans to, and that is very, very helpful because this guy's very, very good. He's about as sharp of an NFL bettor as I've ever seen giving information publicly, right? I'm sure there's sharper people than him who are part of like a betting group or bet on their own, but I just watch this guy's content like every day for the NFL. I take notes. Like here, let me show you my notes for this week. Let me show you my NFL notes for this week. Yeah. So this is like, these are all the notes I have for this week. Like I have like where Adam, like what he leans on various bets. If the South Point Sportsbook, which is a very sharp book in Vegas, has a lean, I will also note that. There's another guy called Fezzik who does a lot of content online, and Fezzik I also respect. I just make notes of where this guy leans, and if I can get a good number, I'll bet on some of this stuff. So early on in the week, I bet LA Rams plus 7.5. South Point was hanging. Everywhere was plus 7. South Point was offering 7.5 on the Rams. Adam leaned towards the Rams, so I took that 7.5. Now that line is at 6.5. So I have a very, very good bet on the Rams. Very good bet on the Rams. The line is at 6.5. I have a 7.5 point bet. I'm just straight chilling. I'm chilling with that bet. He leaned on the Denver Tampa Bay over. One of the sports books in Vegas had 39.5. I bet 39.5. Like, here, can you hear this? Can you hear this? This is my ticket for Denver Tampa Bay, 39.5. It's now at 41, and 41 is a key number. It's a football number. So again, I have like a great bet on Denver Tampa Bay. I have Tennessee minus 1.5. Now Tennessee's at like 2.5 or 3. These are all just good bets, man. These are all just very good bets, right? So Right Angle Sports is like one source where I get a lot of my picks for the NFL. And anybody can follow Adam, right? Anybody can. And they do offer free picks at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday morning. They offer a free college football bet at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, and they offer a free NFL bet at, I think, 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. Yeah, our Alliance KP is, yeah, 550 million, you know? Yeah, 550 million KP. And again, we got more KP than 1824, even though they have way more KP than us, right? They have way more KP than us, but we like won territorially against them, and we had more KP than them, right? And if not for Greenwood, we would have taken their pass, right? If not for Greenwood, we would have taken 1824's pass. Now, granted, we had a much stronger campmate than 1824 had, but 1824's campmate was actually good also. This kingdom here, 2756, is actually a good kingdom. Well, I mean, that's their alt alliance, but you know, anyway. So yeah, we're recruiting. We're actively discussing different people who have applied. We have like a split vote on somebody just today. Just today, like me and Algebra voted yes on somebody. Adinavo and Eli voted no. I'm not sure what Seba voted, and not sure what Clown voted. But yeah, there's like people that we're actively discussing at the moment. And, you know, we're just in the process. We're in the process of recruiting, and if you are interested in joining 770, you can certainly hit me up. How many marches players do you need? It's not really about a number of marches. I mean, you can get it done with 3. You can certainly get it done with 3. Maybe even 2. I mean, the really, you need 30 million KP per KVK. I know Algebra says 40, but like, if you have 30 million KP per KVK, we will accept you, especially if you spend a bit for Crystal Tech and are willing to get on voice chat, right? I mean, I don't know what the standards of like other kingdoms are. You know, I don't know like what Fatty's requirements were. I don't know what like bus drivers' requirements are in 3092. But my requirements are like 30 million KP. And if you're in the neighborhood of like 4 or 5 billion kills lifetime, then you're doing pretty good. I mean, look, like, you know, 5 billion. And I mean, in our alliance, if you have 5 billion KP, you're literally in 37th place, right? I mean, we have like very good players who are below 5 billion. Soul, very good player. Jon Snow, very good player. Magnus, new recruit, and like a very good recruit. He had a good KVK. Minhee, new recruit. She had a very good KVK. I mean, Skliff is only at 4.3. Seba's only at 4.3. Marvel's at 4.1. Right? Marvel's a great player. Marvel's a great free-to-play player. So, you know, that guy's at 3.9. So yeah, I mean, you can have like even you could even have like 3 billion KP and potentially get accepted. Although 3 billion is a little bit low, I would say. We did accept Morlun last KVK with only 3.3 billion, but he was a bit of a risky addition. But yeah, we're looking for like, you know, 4 billion plus KP. We're looking for like 30 million kill points or 30 million kills per KVK, something like that. Other says the more KP you have, the more kills we would require of you. To an extent. I mean, I think that's micromanaging things a little bit too much, Algebra. What Algebra is referring to there is he's referring to the fact that when you recruit someone with a lot of KP, then that means that they add more to matchmaking, right? Yeah, Fatty, if you could send me your requirements, I'd be super interested to see that. If you have a lot of KP, then that like sort of affects a kingdom's matchmaking more. And so like there's value to having less KP. To me, that's very micromanaging. I don't think that's the highest priority, right? Like I think high KP is a good thing for the most part. I guess you could say that a high KP could also mean that someone has like an account that was purchased and they're like doing a lot less. I don't know. All right, so this is 1393. SQ16, is that like 1916? Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So we've got 1916 here. And we've got 1648, which I believe is a pretty successful, but this is a very controversial kingdom. I think we fought these guys in Osiris League about a year ago, and like when you looked them up on Facebook or whatever, there were like multiple instances of these guys like screwing over their allies. Anyway, 1916 and 1648 here are going up against our old enemies and Fatty's old allies, 1393 And it looks like 1393 is winning this Kingsland rather quickly. Looks like it's maybe like a 2v1 at this point, perhaps. Let's go ahead and look at this through 1393's eyes. Oh, so they're not fighting over here. Wait, maybe? What's happening here? Oh! Wait, oh, so 1393 is wind, okay. I think this is very confusing because it's like... there's too many camps that are red. I'm not sure who's on whose side. Oh, so this is like massively OP? So 1648 allied with 1393, huh? Well, I don't know what to make of that. So this is just like a joke of a matchup? Is that what we're watching here? I mean, unless there's like some really strong kingdom in one of these other camps. This just looks like a joke of a matchup. I mean, LW92, 1 star. Fatty says the young accounts with 2 to 3 billion KP are the best recruits. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think our best recruit last... I mean, Froppy was our best recruit, but obviously this dude Sosa, this very young player named Sosa, he is like 60 million power, and he was like, I don't know, maybe top 20 in kill points for us in this KVK. So it looks like Kingsland just opened over here. Oh, this kingdom we've played this kingdom a bunch in Arc. They're like not any good either. Oh, they're with LN93. So LN93 came from over here. 1648 came from over here. Let me guess that they won both Zone 5s here. Oh, they didn't. They lost. So Fire Camp. Fire Camp is maybe sort of good, but they're obviously losing Kingsland. Okay, so this kingdom here has a moon. What kingdom is this? 2658. I mean, it's top versus bottom. I sort of get the top versus bottom thing, but... looks like another easy win for 1393. Which I will just forever... I'm gonna complain... Fatty, I'm gonna complain about the KVK we fought forever. Because it seems to me that 1393 literally just plays Heroic Anthem over and over again. And once in their life, they decided to do a hard KVK. And they saved up all their resources and all their speed ups and all their inactive accounts for this one hard KVK. And then they get like the perfect ally who's like super strong and covers their downtime. And then after they do that, and we have to fight against them. We have to fight against this kingdom the one time they pick a hard KVK. Oh, they did Tides. They did Tides. But like, look at this. They just do Heroic Anthem for the most part over and over again. They pick one hard KVK to do. They do a Nile. They do a full rest in Nile. They pick one hard KVK to do in their entire life. And they get matched up. They get paired with 2217. And then we have to fight these freaking guys. I will just forever complain about that matchup. Even though it was like a good KVK and stuff, like, I just can't believe that. Because look, they're just back in Heroic Anthem now. They're back in Heroic Anthem, winning Kingsland in one day, you know? And obviously they won this zone as well, you know? Against this camp. I mean, what camp is this? This blue. Oh yeah, this camp does have a moon. But it's like very young. This is a very, very young... I I mean, these guys are pretty good. They've got a lot of KVK wins for sure. 22, or 1892. Oh, I've heard of 1892. All right, so maybe this one is not that maybe this matchup is decent. I don't know. But anyway, let's zoom in on some of this fighting here and talk a bit. King's Line opening now for 13-16. Okay, it says they saved for 20 years for that KBK, it seems. Yeah, I mean, since that KBK, I don't even, like, scout people's resources anymore, because I just... Look, the bottom line is that resources are, like, kind of a big deal in this game. And, like, our kingdom, you know, obviously, you know, listen, we have resource sellers just like anybody else, but... Okay, so our resource seller is, like, a small operation, and he has to do things by the book, because there's no favoritism shown to our resource seller, so he has to do everything by hand. The bottom line, for whatever reason, I'm not going to get into it on this stream tonight. I mean, maybe I will. I don't care. The bottom line is that in the last year, we have not fought against a single kingdom where there was any conceivable chance that they would run out of resources. It was never even a factor in a single war that we fought. So we fought 1393. They were never running out of resources. Then we fought 1824 in like a imbalanced KVK where we did not even try. Then we fought 2268. No chance 2268 was going to run out of resources. Then we fought 2975 and 2748. Two Vietnamese kingdom. Pho has accounts in both of those kingdoms. And so there was absolutely zero chance that either of those kingdoms were going to run out of resources. So, like, to just describe how tough our matchups have been for the last year, we are a kingdom that actually has to worry about resources. Like I said, I spent literally 12 hours for 2 straight days transferring resources from our banks to players to make sure everybody had enough resources, right? We basically depleted our banks. We have to worry about resources, and we have not fought a single opponent in the last year where there was any chance that they were going to run out of resources. That's tough, man. That's a high level of competition right there. Very high level of competition. But anyway, I hope you guys like me whining, because obviously I enjoy whining. It says 166 could have run out. Yeah, I'm more talking about like the kingdoms that like were a threat to us losing, right? Like obviously there's some of the smaller kingdoms could have run out, but so what do we have here? Oh, so here's 16OT. 16OT, the 10-star kingdom. They have a son. 16OT with the son, which they were planning to not participate in this KVK. I believe they're Wind Camp, right? Yep. 16OT was saying they weren't going to participate in this KVK. It looks like they have decided to participate. And I guess they're the underdog here, right? I mean, they won... Well, this is Tides, right? I assume this is Tides. Oh, man, I already, like, lost my place. Irgandir, I appreciate the chords here. Let me put them back in. Yeah, so let's see how this thing develops here, actually. Looks like they're about to touch. Looks like they're about to touch. Call me crazy, but this is not like huge presence. Call me crazy, but this is pretty small presence right here for both teams. Betty says, you're bang on, man, and I don't farm unlimited RSS. It's not how the game should be. I mean, yeah, I don't know what's... I mean, listen, I don't think the game is made better by all of us having to jump on our farms way more often to get resources. But listen, I think I don't expect Lilith to do anything extreme, so I'm not even going to hypothetically, you know, come up with an extreme solution. What I would like to see is that the rules be applied fairly, where if you have a favored relationship with Lilith, but you are botting resources, if you are using bots to gather resources, and then you sell those resources to other players, then I think you should be punished. Like, you don't have to get banned immediately, but send that person a warning. Have them, you know, have some of their farms get timed out for a day or two. And treat them the same as you treat the very small farmers, right? Because if you're a small farmer in this game, you have to do everything by hand. Either you do it yourself or you hire people to do it, and you have to do it all by hand. But if you're a big farmer, if you're a big seller in this game, you get to run bots, and the kingdoms that you're in benefit from your cheating. Like, you benefit from your cheating, and the kingdoms you're in benefit from your cheating because they get very, very cheap resources, right? Very cheap resources. I mean, we're talking about resources in some kingdoms are probably like 3 times more expensive than in kingdoms where people are just botting the resources, right? So I don't know. I just think the rules should be applied a little more equally in this game. But maybe that's not even realistic. Just lower the official prices, price them out of the market. It's a very weird situation. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, people should not have to spend more on this game. Like, we already spend too much on this game. So I think Lilith is like not all that wrong to like let it exist where it exists. But like, man, when you fight a kingdom that has unlimited resources, it's annoying, man. It's definitely annoying because like you just have no idea how many speed ups they have. You know, you just have no idea. Irgun just says game economy is a mess. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little off. You know, everything just feels a little bit off, but at the same time, like I said before, it kind of like is balanced in a way. Like, offense and defense are like actually kind of balanced. Like the only thing that I think is imbalanced is like the difference between like skill and spending. It seems to me that spending is a little bit too powerful and skill is like too small of a factor. But I mean, I've been complaining about that for a long time, you know. And like skill still plays a part. Skill definitely still plays a part. I'll probably talk about this in a video. I'm gonna do a video about I'm probably gonna do a video about like where Pha migrated to. Because, you know, Pha said he was gonna migrate his kingdom, his account out of 2748. And that as the matchmaking was getting done, we had to like, you know, we had to subtract like 300 million power and, you know, 35 billion KP because his account was going to get migrated out. As it turned out, Pha not only didn't migrate out his account, but he actually got an incredibly good random teleport into our back lines when Kingsland opened. And then they imprisoned him over and over again. So Pha actually had his city like in our back lines for the first 30 minutes of Kingsland. Like Pha's city was like on HDS territory for the first 30 minutes of Kingsland. So my video is going to be about where Pha migrated to. Like instead of migrating out of the KVK, he migrated to our back line at the start of Kingsland. And I think I'm just going to talk about like the weirdness of the game in that video, which is like, it just feels like we're all fighting against NPCs. Like, I think that our opponents in this KVK perceived us as NPCs. We were just like NPCs who they wanted to get a win against. Like, we weren't like real people who wanted like a fair KVK. We were just like NPCs that they had to like negotiate around in order to like win the KVK, but have like plausible deniability that the matchup was fair. And then they were also NPCs to us because it was like, okay, they have unlimited resources. They fight kind of weird. You know, they fight in the open field kind of weird. They never talk. Like, there's nobody used any emojis in Kingsland. You know, I have never talked to anyone from 2748. Like, I've never said a single word to anyone from 2748. And the only two people I've ever said a word to in 2975 was Dirty Dan and their king, because I talked a little bit of trash to their king and tried to get inside his head. So like, it just felt like we were both fighting, like we were just fighting against NPCs. Like both teams were just fighting against NPCs because like all you really do is this. You just go back and forth in the field and you don't talk to each other, and there's no real like personality to the kingdoms anymore. Like everyone just has like open field presence, and they defend through the open field. They offensively through the open field. You know, some kingdoms have like real movement and some kingdoms have not real movement. And so like Irgandir says that the game economy is a mess. Like I know what he's saying. I sort of view it the same thing a little bit differently, where I'm just sort of like, yeah, it's a good game, and like it's like very meaningful, and you can apply a lot of skill and you can put a lot of effort in, and like if you work hard and play good, you can have like, you make like a much bigger impact than if you like are lazy and don't play well. But like everybody has pilots and everybody has like unlimited resources, and everyone just fights in the open field. So it's kind of just like, I don't know. I think kingdoms are sort of like losing their individual personality in a way. I don't know. Algebra says 2975 and 2748 are huge botters. Yeah, I'll probably... I mean, we have some video stuff, so I might include some of that video in my... I might include some of those clips in my stuff next week. We'll see. Fatty says, Pilots is the worst for me. It's just horrific to play against. Yeah, but Pilots is like one of the hardest things to... I mean, Pilots is like really hard to change, right? I mean, I just think like botting, they can detect bots. I mean, I think most bots can be detected, especially when you send them videos. If you send videos to Lilith of like people who are obviously botting, like it's not that hard to like change that behavior. I think changing the behavior around Pilots is a little bit more difficult. I mean, you cannot restrict an account to just one IP. I mean, I'm probably on a VPN right now. Or I'm not on a VPN right now, but I mean, I use a VPN all the time for sports betting stuff. So, I mean, I'm never on the same IP. Yeah, but Pilots are pretty annoying too. I mean, yeah, Pilots are annoying too, right? I mean, it's just... I mean, it's interesting though, Fatty. Like, I mean, because Bus Driver calls them mercenary kingdoms. There's like mercenary kingdoms, and then there are like family kingdoms or normal kingdoms. And I think we're still seeing like family kingdoms do well. I mean, because like, you know, like 2293 wiped the floor with 2934, right? Like 2934 was like a prototypical mercenary kingdom, right? Like 2934 had a massive migration before that KVK, like a, you know, top 5 migration this year type of thing. And then they lost, man. Like 2934, Mercenary Kingdom 2934 just straight up lost to 2293, right? They just lost to them. They got outplayed by a family kingdom. And, you know, we did pretty good in this KVK against some mercenary kingdoms. Like, we didn't win, but we did all right. You know, for as much dead weight as we had, we did pretty good against some mercenary kingdoms. So, I mean, pilots are annoying and stuff, like pilots, unlimited resources, botting. I'll be honest, the botting is the thing that bugs me the most. Open field botting is the thing that bugs me the most. That's what bugs me the most. If you have a pilot who's good at the game and like puts in a ton of hours and fights well in the open field, then guess what? That person is hard to find. Like, I don't think it's that easy to find good pilots. Like, you know, we try to get pilots for some accounts, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy to have like someone who actually cares enough to pilot for like 10, 12 hours at the opening of Kingsland or something like that. But if you can just give a pilot a script that like auto retreats for them as soon as they're targeted, then it's like much easier to find pilots, because then any noob can do it. Any whale who's never played the game before can do it, right? Open field in this game is not that hard, but like let's at least like make people do it. Yeah, I mean, I like to pilot, so I can't hate on piloting too much. It's annoying to fight against for sure, but to me, it's not the worst problem. The worst problems to me are... We'll come back to this. I'll remember this coordinates. The worst problems to me are botting. I think botting is very bad. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. The fact that only two of these Trial of Karawaks are available before Kingsland, and then the next 3 are like available within the next week. I mean, I haven't even done the 4th one yet, but like the fact that only 2 of these trials are available before Kingsland opens is just so annoying. I mean, they just increased the spending of this game. They increased the spending of this game when like we already spend too much, right? That sucks. Botting sucks. Unlimited resources sucks. And surprise strike sucks. I hate this skill. I hate that they buffed rallying more, or swarming more. Swarming did not need to be buffed. Swarming absolutely did not need to be buffed, and we absolutely did not need to spend more money on Crystal Tech. So to me, those are the problems. But I can't like disagree if somebody says pilots are an equally big problem. Listen, while I'm back in my account, I'm gonna go ahead and open up my armaments really quickly. I'm just going wedge on all these. I'm going wedge now because obviously I stink as a garrison. You know, obviously for those who saw my my Eleanor Sucks video earlier this week, I'm probably going to be less of a garrison captain next KVK just because we have about a half dozen Gorgo garrisons that are better than me. We also have 1 or 2 new archer garrisons that will be better than me, so I can chill out a little bit on the Eleanor, and I can just focus on my open field. So I'm going to go ahead and open all wedge for these armaments. I'm getting pretty close to pity, by the way. So I don't really want an inscription. Or a rare inscription. Although I guess now... So wait, now when you... Oh, so, okay, so actually now the pity is, like, less important now, actually. So my next pity will be the or my next rare will be the banner. So wait, algebra, is there a reason to... Is there a reason to keep saving... Is there a reason to keep saving dispatches in the state forum? Like, obviously, if I open one of these when I'm guaranteed to get a rare, I assume it's going to have to be this, and it will ignore the wish list. Yeah, there's no reason to hold these anymore, is there? So, because I got something the other day, actually. I got a double inscription the other day that's kind of interesting, actually. Let me see if I can show you guys it. That's not it. I guess it's here. I got this. I got this the other day. Double inscription on the banner slot for Wedge. Pursuer is 2% extra damage to troops with under 20% units remaining. That seems awfully good for Rally and Garrison, right? That's 2% all damage for rallies and garrisons. And then Warflames is an extra 1% damage. So call me crazy, but this is basically... This is at least 2.5% all damage, right? At least 2.5% all damage. So that's like 6.25% of stats. Not amazing, but decent. That's like a decent rare. I don't have Intrepid. What slot is Intrepid in? Intrepid's here. 10% boost to skill damage. Balanced is good too, though. Is Intrepid really that much better than Balanced? I mean, the thing is, I'm going to get... What am I going to get in this? I can get Balanced in this. I can get Balanced in this. I'm still, like, part of me still wants to go Arch Formation, because I'm thinking about, like, Attila Lucci and stuff. Or Attila Gorgo, but... So I get Balanced in the shop. So wait, I get Balanced in the shop. Maybe I need to change my wish list. I'm getting Banner. And Banner is Balanced. So maybe I need to... You're saying I should push Intrepid? RK Farm says, I fought against 1960, and it felt like 2975 fighting was so efficient, so they were using bots. You know, we didn't fight 2748 enough to, like... I can't compare 2748 to, like, anybody else we fought, but I will say that, like, 2975's movement was way better than 1824's movement. Like, way better. 2975 had way better movement than 1824. 1824, like, they would get pulled out of position sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you could sometimes pull 1824 out of position, and you didn't really... you didn't get, like, uber punished if you got pulled out of position, but man, against 2975, if you got pulled out of position, you just got wrecked. You got wrecked. So that's really all I can say about it. Obviously, there's rumors going around, and there's screenshots of some conversations about some things. I'm not going to say anything definitive on my stream, but yeah, fighting open field against 2975 was like really rough, man. Like really rough. And some of that is on one of my streams. I guess I should do Intrepid. I guess I should start pushing towards Intrepid, huh? I mean, it doesn't really matter because you're probably going to get like a rare for here. The reason that I'm doing the reason I was doing balanced was because I have focus fire already and I have like a good armament. Okay, let me show you guys real quick on Nevsky. Like this is a very good armament, right? The focus fire I have is like quite good. You know, I've got like 7.5% of stats plus the inscription. That's like a very good armament right there. Whereas like this one is not good at all, right? This is not good at all. Although obviously I just got this that I could roll. But so this is like 6.5. This is like 6.5% of stats. And then how much is Defiant? Increases the normal damage resistance of Wheeler's Troop by 3%. Oh, that's not very good at all. So that's not very good at all. Defiant. Well, this is only like this is like 3.75% of stats. So I'm almost better off with what I just pulled than getting Defiant. So I guess I should just go for Intrepid, huh? Yeah, I guess I should just start going for Intrepid. Or this slot, right? Like this... This is the slot that I really need, right? This is the slot I need. This thing is crap. This Boiling Blood is crap. I mean, Boiling Blood is good, but these rolls are bad. That's kind of why I've been saving... That's why I've been saving all these instruments. I've been saving all these instruments to get this slot. So maybe I should just... Maybe I should just make the wish list this for now. Right? I think I should just make this the wish list. And get this squared away. And then deal with Intrepid when I get closer to 10 out of 10. Fatty, thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate it. And congrats on your great recruitment drive this off season. ROK Farm says they always pulled back on point and never got caught outside a ball. Yes, I will 100% Rock Farm. In fact, I will repeat what you said, Rock Farm. They always pulled back on point and never got caught outside a ball. And yet at the same time, bro, here's the other thing, Rock Farm. Here's the other thing. Where can I... Let me find... It's going to take me a minute to find this. Because it's on like a different hard drive, but... I do think I have this. Right, that's not it. That's not it. Here's the thing, Rock Farm. If you were winning the open field fight, they collapsed very quickly. Their front line collapsed very, very quickly. Right? 2975. They retreated very, very well. Right? They retreated very, very well. They never got caught out of position. But when you collapsed their front line, they all retreated very quickly like a bunch of inexperienced players, right? If you're a great fighter, then you understand that having a strong front line is very, very important, right? If you're a great open field fighter in this game, you understand how important it is to have a strong front line. 2975 fought like they had a great front line until you started to collapse it, and then all of a sudden, they all started fighting like a bunch of KP chasers who didn't want to take a bad trade, and they all ran away, right? So, you know, that's like the other part of it. Let me see if I can find it. I should be able to, actually. I should be able to. Wait a second. Let's see. Because I remember certain fights, man. Was it this one? No, it was later. There was like a fight very early in this zone that we should have lost. But we like won it somehow. Is it this? No. This one. This fight right here. Okay. This is okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, boys. This is the kingdom we're talking about that has amazing movement. As Rock Farm said, they always pulled back on point and never got caught outside of the ball. Fighting against them felt like fighting against 1960. Look at this fight right here. I'm probably going to... Okay, so first of all, they basically have us outnumbered. On Plato's stream, when Plato was streaming this, he was like, it seems like 2975 should win this fight, but they keep running backwards. This is the God tier open field. This is the God tier open field kingdom. They look at them in this fight. Their front line collapses over and over again. All we do is have a sturdier front line than them. And these guys are open field gods. They are open field gods. Their movement is incredible. Their movement is incredible. But what's going to happen in this? Because I'm like, I thought we were going to lose this fight. I 100% thought we were going to lose this fight. Right? Because I'm pretty sure I moved us back. Right? I'm not going to rewind because who cares? But like, at the beginning of this fight, I moved us back to try to like make it a little bit more on in our favor. Wait, why is this not fast forwarding? There we go. I mean, we just destroy them in this fight. We destroy them in this fight. Sorry, I seem to not. Oh yeah, I mean, like, look, they're all just running away. They're all just running away. They have no front line. They have no front line. Look at how many of them not sad facing. Not sad facing, just running away. Running away from like an open field fight 20 minutes into the start of the zone. Running away from an open field fight 20 minutes into the start of a zone because their front line is falling back. Like, why are they retreating? I mean, look at this. Like, we should have never won this fight. If you watch Plato's stream, he literally says, it seems like 2975 should win this fight, but they keep retreating. I mean, come on, man. Like, let's make this a skill game, guys. Let's make this a skill game. Like, there's not that much skill in the game. It's mostly about spending. Let's at least have it be that, like, if your kingdom does not have a sturdy front line, if your kingdom does not have unselfish players who will, like, stand and fight, even if they're being targeted, then, like, you should do really bad. Then you should do really bad in the open field. Like, that's kind of like a fundamental aspect of, like, being a really good open field kingdom, okay? Watch Plato's streams from last KVK. Watch the kind of calls he was making when 2268 was trying to burn 1900 flags. When they had this very tough open field fight against 1900, look at the calls that Plato was making. Super aggressive calls. Super aggressive calls. Because they were trying to engage in best practices in the open field. They were trying to engage in best practices in the open field. All right? But here, what we have here is we have a kingdom that engages in best practices like 75% of the time. They retreat when they get targeted. They never get pulled in. That's best practices. But when you are winning the open field fight, or when it's a close open field fight, and a few of their players on a few of their marches on the front line die, they then engage in worst practices. They go from best practices to worst practices, because as soon as you start to win, they have no front line at all. Their front line completely collapses. You want to know what a good kingdom does when they're like slightly losing a fight? Their frontline players get destroyed. Their frontline players stay out until they sad face, and they take a bad trade. But sometimes that turns a losing battle into a winning battle, because your frontline can maybe stay. Your frontline can stay in place longer than like the more like cowardly other team, right? So anyway, Rock Farm set me off a little bit here. He set me off a little bit. But I think this is a very strange dichotomy. This is a very strange dichotomy where you have a kingdom that engages in best practices in terms of retreating very, very quickly, never getting caught out of position, but engages in worst practices in terms of how they fight as a team. You mean to tell me that this kingdom has like the best open fielders in the game, but they work terribly together? That's what we're supposed to... That's the story. That's the story that this kingdom is telling us. That they have the best open field fighters in the entire game. They have 960 level open field fighters. But as a group, they fight together terribly. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me, boys. You know what I mean? But who cares? Because the Vietnamese audience for my channel is 1%, and they will simply ignore everything that I am. I mean, I'm not implying anything. All I'm saying is, explain to me how that works. Explain to me how you have the best open field fighters in the game, but you have the worst teamwork. Genie, I'm talking about a 2975. This is a 2975 that we fought here. Where we just had no business winning this fight. We had no business winning this fight. We had no business winning this fight. Watch, I move us back. Look, I move us back. Right? Yeah. So where are we? Oh yeah, look. We're like way ahead. We're like way ahead. Look at this. So like my ball marker is at 1. My ball marker's at 1. I see their huge ball coming. I see their huge ball coming, right? What do I do? What do I assess? What do I assess of this situation? What do I assess based on the size of their ball? Obviously, I'm moving around. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, but what action do I take based on the size of their ball? One sec. Sorry. Sometimes it's a little... You gotta wait a while. I move us back. I look at this. I look at it. I look at what the situation is. Look at this. I move us back. I'm like, we're gonna lose this fight. I move us back. I literally move us back. I move us back because their ball is so big, right? And then what happens against these open field gods? What happens against these open field gods who go right into us? They charge right into us. They have a massive ball. Look at this. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're outnumbered here. Not by a lot, but we're outnumbered here. And overall, these guys beat us in the open field in even fights, right? Overall, they beat us in open field fights. But, like, this is one of the most important fights of the zone. And they're open field gods. And they all just run away. They run away as soon as they start losing. Look at all these marches that are running away for them. And we win this fight. Like, why do we win this fight? They literally seems like they have us outnumbered. I don't know. Anyway. Mr. Zarev says, apparently when it hits American EU time zone, their leadership disappears and no one knows what to do. Was based on a video of a player that was in 2975, but anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that you know. And every kingdom has those issues, right? Like we have leadership issues. You know, I think 1824 has leadership issues. That's definitely a big part of the game for sure. And I ranted about that for a little bit too long, but I ranted about it because I think I was making a very good point. I didn't finish opening my armaments, did I? I think I actually have... I think the correct thing to do is make my wish list instrument. Okay, that's cool. And let me open the rest of these armaments real quick. See if we get anything. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. I think I can recycle all these immediately, right? Yep. Bulk recycle all these. And let's open the rest of these real quick. Nothing there. No, that's not good. This I'll keep. I'll keep the V formation with Brisk. I'll keep that. I guess we can recycle the rest of these, right? Yep. And let's open these last 4 legendaries. Okay, we got a legendary inscription in the instrument slot. Let's see what we got here. This could be interesting. Let's take a look. Evasive. All archer stats. Evasive is march speed. Oh no, less counterattack damage. A very nice all damage roll here. Very nice all damage roll. So this is about 8% of archer stats here. Not bad. Not a bad armament at all. It may or may not be worth having on my zoo, but not a bad armament at all. Really good all damage roll there. Not bad, not bad. Hearts, yeah, everybody's throwing the hearts in the chat. I like it, I like it. What else did we... Is there anything else I wanted to cover? Oh, so here's Fatty's requirements for KVK. So here's Fatty's requirements for KVK. So this doesn't seem very much. Am I crazy or is this like incredibly low? Am I crazy or are these requirements incredibly low? Like a 65 million player only needs to get 11 million kills? I mean, these are minimum targets for players who have already been accepted into their kingdom. But this is like really low, no? I mean, a 100 million player only has to hit 30 million kills? This is more in line with my requirements. You know, Algebra was saying we will only recruit people who can get 40 million kills per KVK. But 2217's minimum requirements are below 40 million kills for all players. Because you say that, Brian, but how many of our players meet this? Well, I think it's fair to say that anyone who doesn't meet these requirements probably either needs to leave the kingdom or be in domain 2. I mean, I think these are like unofficial requirements that we have, right? I don't think... I mean, because we're about to do a very big purge, right? So... But I'm just saying in relation to migrants, right? Like, this is what I was saying, though. Like, if someone can hit 20 million KP, that's pretty good, right? Because, like, for 2217, maybe, like, half their players, the minimum requirements are 21 million. If we can do the same in the open field as 2217, especially considering they spend a lot more than we do, then... I don't think our requirements need to be higher. And Fatty does say that for migration, they focus on young accounts, not KP so much. So that's interesting as well. So the new migrant should have different standards than somebody already in the KD, though. I don't know about that. I mean, look, if we're going to be like kicking out people, if we're going to kick out like 40 people... I mean, do we want to replace some of those people with, like, players who are, like, slightly better than them? Like, I mean, I just think, like, I think 20 million KP would be, like, a top 50 player for us, right? I'm not going to open up the Excel sheet right now, but I'm pretty sure, like, 20 million KP in this KVK was, like, top 50. So if we bring in someone who can do 30 million, then they're going to be like a top 30 player. Aren't we going to accept anyone who's like a top 30 player? Let's try to give you guys a because I've been like ranting while I watch this. Let's try to give a tangible update on this Kingsland opening here. I'm not sure who the allies are. So far, it's a very like isolated. Are these two teams allied? Is it top versus bottom? It feels like top versus bottom, right? Well, here we can figure this out, right? No. Wait. Yeah, so this is fire. And there, yeah, it's top versus bottom. Okay, it's top versus bottom. And 16OT is on top. So 16OT is with fire camp, and they thought this was unfair. Wait, why did 16OT... Oh, 16OT thought it was unfair because they're with 166. Okay. Wait. Oh no, it's left versus right. It's left versus right. No, it's not top versus bottom. It's left versus right, right? Because 16OT is bottom right, and they're allied with top right. Oh, but this looks like allies. Why am I being confused by this? Oh, because I'm looking at this wrong. I'm on fire camp. You're right. Top versus bottom. Top versus bottom. Okay. So top seems to be winning over here, right? Are they burning? Yeah, they're burning here. What about over here? Burning here. So water is burning in a lot of spots. Not necessarily close to their pass, but close to their mountain hop here. And these are all very, very difficult. These are all very difficult flags to defend here. So it's looking like 166 is probably going to lose a second KVK in a row. Obviously, we fought against them last KVK. Obviously, they have another tough Tough KVK here, but what kingdom is this? Okay. So a moon from 1592 and four stars from 3251, and 1316 decided that this KVK was just like brutally unfair. I don't know. Doesn't really seem like it. Yeah, so it looks like 1316 is off to like a pretty good start here. They've got the field here, but they're burning here. They have like massive field, but they're burning. They're burning here as well. They're burning here. Oh, we fought against these guys. We fought against Gypsy Danger's kingdom, or at least we played against Gypsy Danger. We might be in a different kingdom now, but I think this is who we played with or against. They might have been our allies. 16OT is like burning everywhere. Yeah, this King's Land is pretty much over as well. I mean, it's not over, but it's like clearly going in one direction. Let's see if 16OT can get a rally going. Oh, listen, I need to look at 16OT. Never mind. They don't have the field. They're getting wrecked. This thing's already over. They're not even on the front lines anymore. Yeah, so this KVK is over. It did look like at the beginning, like 16OT was winning the field, at least in part. I mean, they were able to get flags up. They were able to build basically the most territory. 16OT was able to build probably the most territory of anybody. They basically have almost half of the Zig, but it looks like it's over at this point. Their allies are getting pushed back. So this KVK is over. Yeah, so this Tides is over. The 1393 KVK. Oh no, this is Heroic Anthem. Wait. 1316 signed up for Heroic Anthem and then decided it was unfair? How do you decide that a Heroic Anthem is unfair? Like, Genie says 16OT had many players retiring. Interesting. (661) 664. I mean, not a whole lot. Oh, so here's the ball. Yeah, zone seems pretty much over, but they're still gonna go at it in the open field. Appreciate that, Shocky. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, this King's Land looks over like very quickly after it opened. Like, we're like only a few hours in. The 1393 zone has been around for longer, but that one looked like it was over as well. So it's been a tale of two cities lately, right? A lot of King's Lands that are very short. And then we had that crazy King's Land between 2377 and allies against 2429 and allies. But it goes to show you how hard it is to sustain that very high level of competition, right? Like, one of the things that was amazing about the 2377 versus 2429 war is that they just fought nonstop for 3+ days. And I mean, there were some there were some downsides to that, obviously. Obviously the king of 2890, who was one of the kingdoms in that KVK, the king of 2890, rest in peace, passed away during that King's Land. And the king of 2429 retired after that KVK. And so it's very hard to sustain. It's very hard to follow through on a fair fight because the fair fight is so demanding. And in many cases, the team that wins a fair fight is the team that tries the hardest, the team that wants it more. And I think that clues you in to why so many kingdoms would rather have a easy KVK than a hard one where you lose. Because you can play well and work hard and still lose if your fairly matched opponent plays better than you and works harder. And that can be a very tough pill to swallow. As we saw with that KVK. And so what we end up getting in many situations, and we're seeing it tonight. We're seeing it tonight. The two highest profile King's Land openings that we're looking at here tonight are both easy wins for one side. They're both easy wins for one side. In one case, you have a kingdom with roughly 10 wins in 1393 who queues for Heroic Anthem over and over again and gets some pretty easy matchups because they queue for Heroic Anthem over and over again. In another case here, you have a kingdom with 10 wins, 1316, who is a Osiris League runner-up and has a reputation for taking a lot of easy KVKs. The one time they were underdogs, they basically said they were going to refuse to fight. And these are the most successful kingdoms in the game from a win perspective. From a number of stars, we're talking about the most successful kingdoms in the game. 1316 has 10 stars. I believe 1393 has 8 or 9 stars. And after this easy win, they potentially might have 10 themselves. So that's one tier of kingdom success in this game. Irgundir is clarifying for me that the king of 2890 died suddenly before KL. Okay, he died before KL. Gotcha. Mr. Zaref says KVK devolved on who gets the best Diplo starts, lol. Well, I mean, I think there's two things here, right? I think there's kingdoms that do a lot of Diplo wins. But then there's a higher level of kingdoms like 1093, 1960. I'm not going to put 2489 in that category, but they certainly have the potential to be in that category. They have the kill points to be at that level. And they were involved in the last war that was, I would say, pretty grueling. I would say that the war between 1093, 960, and 2489 was pretty grueling. One thing that 1093 did that we did not do is they defended all of their zones after they lost King's Land. So that added a lot of endurance to that KVK. That made that war last a lot longer. And what we see, what is happening now is pretty interesting, where it looks to me like 2489 and 1960, after that long challenging war, they have now both done what we can call a rest KVK. Now, You can say that 2489 has actual competition. I mean, I'm not sure. It's hard for me to imagine that 1818 can compete with 2489. But, you know, and the bottom line is that 2489 and 1960 both, I would say, knowingly queued with no other big kingdom, right? Like, I would imagine they both knew that nobody else was queuing with them, and that therefore they would probably have an easy KVK. They both registered quickly. They both will probably get a win, get autarchs, get conquest coins. They will maybe be able to relax for a few months while also winning. So, I mean, what this all adds up to is that ROK remains a very demanding game, very challenging. It's difficult for kingdoms to just do one hard KVK after another. The kingdoms that can do one hard KVK after another are the really impressive ones that have standing leadership teams where they do really have like 24-hour coverage. They have multiple people who can push the action, keep people going in the right direction. And they allow it's about carrying the workload for others, right? If you have just like one or two people carrying like a massive amount of the workload, then they have to take a break from time to time, right? But if you have like a full team of leaders where like each leader only has to do like 25% of the work, then you can actually like share the workload. You can each like, you know, go to work for 8 hours, sleep for 8 hours, and then lead for 8 hours. That becomes like possible to do. But I think what a lot of kingdoms have an issue with, and we had an issue with this in this KVK as well, because I did sort of step back, is that a lot of kingdoms only have like one, maybe two people really pushing that bus forward. And it puts a lot of pressure on those people, a lot of pressure. Shaki says, Brian, 2359 had a 9-win streak and 1606 beat us. Now we have to start a new one. Yep. And I heard that 1606 had a very good migration. So 1606 may be taking a bit of a step up, you know. I mean, there's some kingdoms out there, you know. There's some kingdoms out there. 2377, 1606. It remains to be seen at what level 1365 can compete. But there's some, you know, 1093 is in the off season. There's some kingdoms out there. I think one of the things that's lacking is like a great Korean kingdom, you know? I mean, I know 2934 has Korean leadership, but I mean, Genie reports that 1316 had people retiring. 2934 had an underperformance. I'm sort of like struggling to remember some of the other. My problem is I still use the 1093 site, and I need to get used to using Fleisch's site, because I feel like Fleisch's site is better. But I'm just a creature of habit, and I use the 1093 site. I mean, you're seeing the rise of so many Vietnamese kingdoms. I mean, 188, obviously 188 had like a underperformance last KVK. So you wonder what 188's future is going to be. I mean, that would be the dynamic that would be like really interesting to me. It's hard to picture another kingdom in the elite ranks, if not like a new Korean kingdom. I don't know, what do we have as like the top tier right now? what do we have as the top tier? We've got 1093, 1960, 2489, 2377. Maybe 1606 is right below that. Who else? 1818 maybe, 1846. You can't put 1606 above those kingdoms, I don't think. I mean, you can't put 2934. You cannot put 2934 in that category. You just can't. I mean, can you put 1875 here? I don't think so. You know, I mean, I don't think 1875 has had a performance to justify being at that level. I mean, you have some other big kingdoms. I mean, 2429. Did you put 18? I don't think you can put 1818 up here either, right? I don't think you can put 1818 up here either. To me, it's like this. I mean, I think there's a lot of like less proven kingdoms. I mean, 1818, you can question, you can quibble with 1818 here. Just having played against them, I do think they're like just a solid. I think they're very strong, right? I think 1818 is like a very capable fighting kingdom. Did you put anybody else in the top 7? Genie says 1818 lost players as well. Yeah, the Korean community just keeps getting... The Korean community just... It continues to fall. It just continues to fall. 1718? Yeah, but they're smaller, aren't they? Like 1718, where are they? 1718 is probably the best run Korean kingdom, right? In my opinion, 1718 has the best leadership of any Korean kingdom. I mean, I don't know if their leadership is still the same, but that's where like a great... Yeah, see, 1718 is much smaller. Like, according to 1093, 1718 is like 71st in rank. It has like 1.3 trillion. So like, they're pretty small, man. They're smaller than us. But yeah, I know what you're saying with 1718. I mean, that's a good call out for sure. If the Korean community is going to like gather up somewhere, I would do it in 1718. Obviously, 1818 is good too. Like, obviously, they're good too. I mean, 2934 to me, like, man, they played so bad. If you don't have leadership, like, forget about it. I don't care. I don't care if you have like good whales. If you don't have leadership, forget about it. To me, there's like a pretty clear top 7. To me, this top 7 is like pretty clear. I'd say that top 7 is like pretty clear. You know? I mean, there's more kingdoms here. There's more kingdoms here for sure, but... like, oh yeah, 1365, you know. Obviously, there's like more kingdoms in this grouping. But the top 7 to me is like pretty freaking clear right now. You know, you wonder if 1606 can beat 1818 and 1846. I never watched 1606 KVKs like closely enough to know if they have any downtime issues. I can tell their execution is quite good, but I mean, 1818 has downtime issues too. Like, I just don't know. Like 1606 leadership versus 1846 leadership, I just don't know enough about them. You know what I mean? I literally just don't know enough about them. It may be like splitting hairs to compare these two. Bello says attack a city. I'm going to leave this here for like just a minute. I've had 2 chocolate chip cookies sitting in front of me. I just need a little plate. I don't want to spill crumbs all over my new desk. Mr. Dress says, do you think Imperium status means anything these days in ROK? Well, I mean, Imperium means that you can't, like, do a big recruitment, I guess. Although, you know, these monster kingdoms seem to have no trouble doing big recruitments, even though they're very big. So, there's certainly been talk about getting rid of Imperium. since it doesn't really factor into domains, right? And it's not like really a factor in matchmaking. So I think they could get rid of it. It is possible for them to get rid of Imperium. And that might be like a good change, actually. But I mean, I think it's sort of good. Well, so here's why they don't really need Imperium, Mr. Zref. Here's why they don't really need it. The point of Imperium is to stop kingdoms from like getting really big, being super dominant because they're bigger than everybody else, and getting all the good players. That's the point of Imperium. But the thing is, even with Imperium in existence, what Lilith had to do to like stop 1093 from being the biggest, strongest kingdom that dominated against everybody else was they had to match them up against 960 and 2489 in a 1v1 on Alliance Invictus, right? Like they had to go out of their way to stop the one kingdom that Imperium was sort of designed to prevent. Because every other kingdom that Imperium was designed to prevent got smaller on their own. Like, every other kingdom in the game got smaller despite Imperium. Like, regardless of Imperium. Well, for the most part, right? And at the end of the day, Lilith can go out of their way to kill a kingdom that was not slowed down by Imperium. You know what? As I'm talking about it, I think Imperium still does do something. Because it prevents like more 1093s from happening. Not that 1093 did anything wrong, but Imperium sort of like stops more of those situations from forming. Because at the end of the day, Lilith did like really have to go out of their way and do something kind of egregious to force 1093 to get smaller, you know? So I would say that Imperium stops those situations from happening more often, where Lilith would potentially have to go out of their way more often to like quote-unquote kill a kingdom or shrink a kingdom. Imperium sort of does the job for Lilith, and it's a little bit more reasonable. It's more reasonable for Imperium to shrink kingdoms than for Lilith to do it explicitly themselves, is what I would say. I'll say this. I'm glad that people like Genie are in the chat and you know, other people were talking about like the top kingdoms. I'm glad I was able to just like do the tier list of these kingdoms, because I don't want I don't want to talk. I don't want to rank these kingdoms, right? I just don't want to get into trouble and rank these kingdoms. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it after, like, we lost plus I'm kind of, like, burnt out and, like, not sure how hard I'm going to work in future KVKs, so this is the one I don't want to do. Let me see who else is in here. Oh, 1185. Yep. I mean, some of these I don't really know anything about. Who else is in this grouping? Who else is in this grouping? $22.93. Yeah, I don't want to get in. This is I'm like Bella. After the KVK, I'll probably be like 78 million power or something. I mean, this. If you want my real thoughts, if you want my real thoughts, it's this. But I'm not going to give them. 2650. I should know more about 2650. What are they? Where is 2650? Why can I not find them on this? But yeah, okay, we'll throw in 2650. Yeah. This is where I live. This is the tier list where I live. And I could say a lot about a few of these kingdoms, but I'm not going to do it. Shocky says 2973 also. Oh, I mean, obviously, yeah, so... Well, I forgot the two kingdoms we just fought, right? I forgot the two kingdoms we just fought. 2748, 2975, 1824, 1903, 2359, 2650, 1393. Whatever else. 2293. I guess 34, I guess. I don't know. 2973. I mean, there's some other kingdoms you could throw in here. You could throw in Bus Driver's New Kingdom. I'm sure if Big Kane were on my chat, he would try to put his kingdom in here. So this is kind of where I this is where I live. This is in no particular order, but yeah. Oh, 1486. You got to put. Well, I would put 1486 in there as well. Our campmates in this KBK. Yeah, 2890. Yep. But who knows, man? I mean, I don't know how small we're going to get, right? We're going to trim down so much that I don't even know. I mean, our KP is not going to change that much, but... our power is going to go down a lot, so I don't know. We'll watch these guys fight again, and then we'll maybe check out a different KVK. Do throw a like on the stream if you have not done so already. Let me look at how many subs we're at. Let me take a look at how many subs we are at right now. We're at 1,994. We might actually get to 2K on this stream. If you have not subbed, I would love for you to throw a sub on this channel now. I thought there was like very little chance we would get to 2,000, but apparently we're very close. And that would be sick. That would be sick. I am planning to do a face reveal soon. I just have never set up my green screen. I bought a green screen like a long time ago. It's still sitting in a box in my closet. My thing is like, I just have a bad background. Like my desk is like in... My desk is like in sort of like the breakfast nook area, and then like my background is just like my kitchen. It's just like this open area that's my kitchen. And I always think those are like the worst. Those are like the worst backgrounds, right? To me, a webcam looks so much better when there's like a wall behind the person. So like, I need to like set up a green screen and kind of do it like that. But I'm trying to sort of like grow the channel, and I think it's easier to connect with people when they can see the person they're talking to. HJ says it's okay, just do the face reveal in the bathroom. Yeah, I'll just post a selfie. Looks like we just got another sub. MT, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. We're up to 1,995 now. Very nice, very nice. HGT Nation, that list was the list of wannabe kingdoms. The previous list showed the top kingdoms in the game, which I said there were 4 at the top, and then there were 3 in the second tier. And then there's like a pretty big drop-off after those top 7. I would say the top 7 have proven that they can play at like a very high level in their current form. Like, what they have currently is playing at a very high level. Whereas, like, in the group below that are kingdoms that either are sort of new to that level and have not really proven themselves, or kingdoms that used to be great, but now there's like more of a question mark, right? Like, 1365 used to be great, but now there's a question mark about them. By the way, I don't know if everyone saw this, but well, let's watch this fight first. Let's watch this fight first. So 16OT is healing this flag. My guess is they will put like and they're healing this flag. They're healing both flags. What they want to do, my guess is, they don't want to take a lot of deads. They just want to have the better open field, and if they have the better open field, then they will be able to defend these flags. So the flags are sort of like a carrot. The flags in this case, where it's like where this KVK is over, 16OT has already decided that they're going to give up. You know, this flag is burning. Oh, this flag's actually this. So they're defending. 16OT is defending in some spots here. Here, this field is being contested. So as you can see, this Scipio Tariq rally is being swarmed down very, very easily. But let's get back over here, right? Where were we? Yeah, these flags are burning like easily. We gotta find... Oh no, I lost where we were. Here we go. Yeah, so these flags are sort of like a carrot, where like the zone is already decided, more than likely. Although 1316 is going into their uptime. We're sort of entering Korean uptime now. So the flags are like a carrot, where like it gives them something to fight in the open field over, right? 1316, you know, if they can defend, they'll defend. The winning team over here, 2634 and 2359. Oh, this is Shaki's kingdom. Duh. I'm an idiot. Shaki's playing right now. Yeah. Okay, so here's 2359. This kingdom that Shaki's been in for a long time, and he's always talking about. I don't watch them too often, but yeah, here's 2359 right here. Duh. So it's like a bit of a carrot. This is a bit of a carrot defending this flag, but it looks to me like red. It looks to me like red has a very big field advantage here. Let's see how it looks from dot mode view. Yeah, it looks like red has a very big numbers advantage here. Very big numbers advantage. And the other thing about this particular engage here, look at what a narrow entrance 16OT is going into, and that's very bad for them. That's very good for red up here, because their AoE, they kind of like surround 16OT, and their AoE like just it hits more people, right? their AoE is hitting from multiple directions. The one advantage 16OT has is they have the initiative here. And as we saw from 2489 in Osiris League, in the mid-fights in Osiris League, having the initiative is actually kind of nice. It just means everyone is attacking together. They're attacking in a very coordinated way, a guaranteed coordinated way. And even though it looked like they were outnumbered, it looks like they're winning so far. They're certainly pushing back. They're certainly pushing back the red team here. And not a lot of siege in this KVK. Worth noting, there's not a lot of siege. Maybe 2 siege over here, 1 siege over here. Very, very different scene than we saw in the 1093-960 KVK. Very, very different. If I recall correctly, we did not see very much siege in the 2377, 2429 KVK either. So the top kingdoms in the game have a lot of siege. The smaller kingdoms, the less developed kingdoms, have very little siege. And that is a very interesting dichotomy, for sure. Siege does get very good trades. Siege does get good trades, but Siege cannot do anything on its own. It can only do things when there's an actual close fight that they can sort of like snipe. Like, I think it's good to picture Siege as snipers. They're snipers, right? Snipers get very good trades, right? By definition, snipers get very good trades. They generally get a 1-to-0 ratio where they kill one person and they stay alive themselves, right? So snipers get very, very good trades. But snipers cannot win a war alone. Whereas you can win a war without any snipers. Snipers do smooth things out, and they're very efficient, they're very cost effective. But you don't need snipers to win a war. You need tanks, and you need frontline soldiers, and that sort of thing, right? ROK Gosu Siege God says Siege is good. It is good. It is good. But well, here's the question I have, because obviously for some players Siege is good. This rally has no chance. I don't know why they launched this rally. They should have had a timer on this rally and just let it and held it, because they're obviously losing this fight here. Very good attack by 1316 here, honestly. It seemed like they were outnumbered. Their approach was a little bit janky, but they won the fight. They definitely won the fight here. So a nice win for 1316. I think for some players Siege is good, right? Like for some of our like casual players, like for the casual players that we like really like and who use their accounts as sort of like a farm account where they like take a ton of deads each KVK. For those players who aren't really good at fighting in the open field, they don't really necessarily buy a lot of crystal tech, and they just want to be like really casual open field players. For those players, Siege is good, right? And they can be more effective in the field by using Siege. The question is, if you're like a really good player with like max tech and like tons of gear, if you're like a 1960 player, are you better off having 6 field marches and 1 siege march, or having 7 field marches, right? Because if you're like a really good player and you like stand at the front line and you know are like part of like your team's front line, where you're like taking actual attention, like actually you're getting targeted by the enemy directly, if you have 7 marches instead of 6 marches, that's literally 1 additional march on the front line, right? That's 1 additional march that's like potentially pushing an objective. And I think it's pretty close. I think the difference for like a giant whale between having 6 regular marches and 1 siege march versus having 7 regular marches, I think it's actually pretty close. Because the other thing about siege is that I have to imagine it's like awkward to set it up. Like it's disrupting the flow of your other marches to some extent, where you have to like, you know, focus on the other march, set it up. If the position of the fight changes, you have to like retreat your other 6 marches so you have time to then click on your siege march to like have it dismantle and fall back. So it's like it's taking attention from your open field movement. It's taking attention from the constant clicking back and forth, the constant movement of your marches. I mean, when I'm in a fight like this, I'm just like trying my hardest to you know, do damage to the enemy, B, you know, not get pulled in and take terrible trades, and C, stay very close to the front, right? Like I'm doing a lot in a fight like this. You know, I'm really working hard to stay at the front. And, you know, having a march that's like doing something else, it inevitably would make me less effective playing my best as like a frontline fighter. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting that like the top kingdoms have so much siege. They have so much siege. MT says, I usually try to go mid-tech with 5 marches, semi-gold garrison lead set. Yeah, well, I'll check that KVK real quick, MT, after this rally. So it looks like they were like double. Oh no, they were rallying both flags. Yeah, they're kind of pushing back. Red team is pushing back a little bit here, but you know they don't have enough of the field for that rally to work either. So 16OT is going to hold over here. But this is what is interesting about war in this game, and I think this was kind of like the problem that 2934 had as well, is that like you actually have to fight at a lot of places at once, right? Like being able to fight it in just one spot is like kind of cool, and like in some wars just having like massive pressure. Oh my god, I always lose track of where this thing is. I guess it's here maybe? No. What's this one? You know, like being able to exert like massive pressure and force is like a very, very useful thing in the game. Because like you can move this force around, right? Like 1316 could potentially like defend here for a while. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you have like a ton of force, then you theoretically can like split up that force. And it's just like, if 1316 cared more and were like better, they could like also defend here, right? Because it's not as if red team fire has like a bunch of people here either, right? They're using like the bare minimum number of people to like burn this flag. And they're using like the bare minimum number of people to burn here. You know, you just need more of this. 1316 needs more of this. By the way, every kingdom has a whale named Tiger. Like, every kingdom has a whale named Tiger. Although I think this dude is, like, the biggest one. I think this is, like, the biggest Tiger, actually. Because I remember him from Osiris League. He would finish, like, first or second for 16OT in Osiris League. So this guy's, like, the tiger of all tigers. Pretty good Osiris League record. Good Autarch stats. Very few helps. Dude, this is the weirdest shit, man. Bro, I actually don't know what's going on with this. I'm seeing this more and more. I'm seeing like a huge number of victories on some of these accounts that have like very low helps. Like, very low helps. But, like, this is the most victories I've ever seen in my life. This is, like, an incredible amount of, like, barb chaining, I guess? What else could it be? I mean, obviously, he's winning a lot of fights, like, you know, in KVK and stuff, because he's got, like, 44 million KP, but I've been seeing this more and more, where, like, tons and tons of victories and, like, not very many helps. You know? I'm noticing that trend more and more. This guy, man, these guys have so many victories, dude. Oh my gosh, these guys have a lot of victories. Oh my gosh. Because I barb chain a lot, and I've got like 390,000 victories, something like that. All right, let's take a look at the chords that MT gave us. Maybe it's something, maybe it's actual Kingdom 1534. This is probably just his city, but that's fine. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it's just MT's, See, this is normal, look. MT has the same number of helps as Tiger. He has, like, the exact same number of helps. He has more resources gathered. But Tiger literally has, like, 5 times more victories. I mean, I guess I can say what I think that is, right? I guess it's fine for me to say what I think that is. I think that's paying somebody to barb chain on your account, right? I think that's what that is. Let's check in on the 1393 KVK real quick here. $1,996 subs. We are 4 subs away from 2,000. Would be great if we could hit it tonight. I'm not set up to do a face reveal tonight, but I will. If we hit 2,000 subs, I guarantee I will do use a webcam at some point. All right, so this one was top versus bottom, right? Yeah, this was top versus bottom. So it looks like 1916. Looks like 1916 is going to win this KVK. This, of course, is Drago's old kingdom. Skywalker OG's old kingdom. Interesting that they're still pretty big. Interesting that they are the coalition leader instead of 1648. I don't really recognize any of these players, to be fair. Pretty low KP here, not gonna lie. Pretty low KP here. Yeah, definitely a pretty casual kingdom. But you got to give this kingdom props for, you know, still being alive and still, like, finding success in this game. When you're a monster big kingdom like 1916, and then you sort of, like, fall apart and you have, like, all this dead weight and stuff, it is, it's really hard to recover. It's really, really hard to recover, so I give the people in 1916... 1916 props for, you know, still being like a size kingdom, and looks like they're doing pretty well in this KVK. I think they were definitely the stronger side, and they obviously have very good campmates in 1648, but interesting to see in late 2024, interesting to see 1916 winning a somewhat high-profile KVK. Things you did not expect to, you know, parts of your bingo card that you did not expect to hit in 2024, I would say. I do think the strongest alliance in this KVK is very likely LN93. Yeah, they have 8 stars, so probably after this they'll be up to 9 stars. We did play against 1393 a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. 11 months ago we played against 1393. They had a very strong campmate in 2217. They did beat us. Officially, I think it was the longest war. Looks like Homer Simpson is getting zeroed here. This is one of those PFPs that you kind of expect to get zeroed. You know what I mean? Dope. But yeah, 1393, a memorable opponent. I think officially our war lasted about 21 days. A lot of that war was a fort wall that we placed, and they declined to burn the fort wall. They sort of had control of most of the zone anyway. But we did fight for a very long time against this kingdom, and it was a very memorable war. When we did eventually lose, I went to sleep. I slept for like 8 hours. I woke up, looked at my phone. There were a bunch of people on Discord talking. I jumped on voice chat for like 90 minutes. We talked about the KVK. And then I went back to sleep and slept for another 8 hours. I slept for like 16 hours in one day when the war against 1393 finally ended. And then did a number of live streams after that war was over. Had some very good live streams, I think, talking about that KVK with 2217. You know, we had an honest back and forth. Dan Jamie, thank you for the sub. I will say, you know, I don't know if Fatty will watch this later, but at the time, Fatty said something. One of the points of contention I had with Fatty was that he said that I called 1770 a top 5 A kingdom, and I said, like, oh, I never said that. And I actually went back and watched one of my live streams from a previous KVK, and I did actually say that. I did say that, you know, we were fighting against 1818, and I said we were watching, you know, you're watching some of the top 5 king. Oh, looks like who's calling me? Whatever. I did sort of say that we were a top 5A kingdom, which was probably overstating 770. We're definitely not a top 5A kingdom now, but even then, we probably weren't. And actually, my very next video, which will be coming out on Sunday, is going to be a video showing a fight against 1393 in that KVK. It's from a year ago, but it's always been a very good memory of mine. It's one of, like, it's sort of an operation that I led that went well for us. It's just like a very good memory. I saved the footage, and that video is going to be coming out on Sunday. Some wars just stick with you, you know? Some wars just stick with you. It is what it is. Even sometimes the ones that you lose. You know, we lost this war. We were losing the whole time. There's maybe like... In a 21-day period, there was maybe like a 6-hour period where it looked like we were winning. During that 6-hour period, I went out and bought beer and kind of like didn't do a very good job and probably made a few mistakes. But, you know, ultimately the wars that are very challenging, that you play very well in, they end up being the wars you remember the most. They end up being the wars that you talk about the most. It's not always the wars you win. Sometimes it's the wars you lose. I mean, I think this is the war that I've talked about the most on this channel at this point. You know? Nugget, Lambo, welcome to the stream. Is it only laggy for me? The video is jumping. Let's see what my studio says. It looks like it just started buffering. Yeah. It looks like it just started buffering. Sorry about that, y'all. I should probably tweak my settings a bit more on the next stream, but hopefully it'll smooth out. Hopefully it'll smooth out. But yeah, welcome to Nugget and Lambo. Couple of old school players. No, it's my stream. It's my stream. I'm looking at the stream status, and literally, like in the last minute, there's been now 4 notifications that there's a problem. So hopefully it gets better. Hopefully it gets better. But yeah, we're now at 1,997 subs. 3 subs away from 2,000. Thank you for all the subs on this stream. It's one of those... It's one of those like flukes of YouTube that lowest common denominator stuff actually works. Like, it should not work that just me calling a stream the road to 2,000 subs and titling it, "Can we hit 2,000 subs tonight?" That should not increase the number of subs that I get on a stream, but it does. It does. It absolutely does. So, it doesn't mean that my stream was better. It doesn't mean anything other than, like, I just made the thumbnail in a certain way that was going to get more subs. And it should not be the case that thumbnails and titles are so freaking important, but they are, like, incredibly important. I'm going to go back to the 1316 KBK. I think the fighting was a little bit better on that one. I think the fighting was better on this one. Here's 16OT. Very big ball here for 16OT. Did they rotate? Oh, they're building. So 16OT is building. They are going into their uptime. Very solid ball for 16OT here. Really good numbers. And you got to remember that this is a kingdom that hits very hard. Lambo, appreciate it. Have a good night. I still need to look back on your migration. I know you were talking about your migration the other day. I'm very curious to see what kind of talent 1029 was able to recruit in the offseason. But yeah, 16OT are some very hard hitters. They've got a rally now on 2359. Looks like 2359 is just going to let this one burn. This is a tough flag to defend. This is definitely a very tough flag to defend. Jan Garrison. Oof. You know, I should do a follow-up to my Eleanor Sucks video. Just as like a troll and be like, Jan sucks more. And it'll be like a very short video where I just like say like, okay, remember everything I said about Eleanor and then realize that Jan is worse than Eleanor. And therefore, Jan sucks more. That'd be a good like short video that I could get done. But the thing about that is that's like too nuanced of a troll, right? That's like a nuanced troll. It's sort of like dry humor. And that stuff doesn't really work on YouTube, right? What works on YouTube is like very like low common denominator stuff. Not the lowest common denominator, but low common denominator stuff. My journey with YouTube has basically been this. I started the channel. I wasn't serious about it. I basically made videos to sort of like coach my team, really. If you watch my early videos, I'm really just like, A, the audio is terrible, and B, I'm like coaching my team about how to like fight at the ruins or something like that. And then I made a video that was like it showed a fight. It had music behind it. I narrated some of it. The other parts of it were like music with actual footage. It was like a good video, right? I made that video and it got like 2,000 views gradually over time. And I was like a complete nobody. I had like 50 subscribers. And I was like, oh, wow, if I make good content, YouTube will share that content out to more and more people. If the first people who watch my video, if they actually click on the video and like watch it for more than like 25% of the video's length, then YouTube is incentivized to share that with more people. And I was like, that's super cool. That's amazing. Because I'm a complete nobody. Nobody knows who I am. What stopped me from doing content creation for many, many years, not just YouTube, but like writing books or streaming on Twitch, whatever it may be. What stopped me from doing that was just the knowledge that I was a nobody, and it would be very, very hard for me to get anyone to buy my stuff or consume my content, even if it was good, because no one would give it a shot because they didn't know who I was. So the revelation that I could be a complete nobody, but if I made good content, YouTube would like market it for me, basically. That was like very cool. That was very motivating. It got me more into YouTube. I was like, I'm just going to make good content and people will watch it. I was like, this is a real meritocracy. I love meritocracies. The only things I've ever done well in my life are meritocracies. So that got me into YouTube more. That was my mentality for a long time. Somewhere along the way in the last year, I realized that making good content is important, but it's actually more important to get people to click on your video. Like, you need to have good content in the video or YouTube is not going to recommend it to anybody. But if you have very good content in your video, but the thumbnail and the title are bad, and only a small percentage of people even click on that to discover that it's good content, then it's very limited. Like the audience is limited. Yes, you will get some views, but like the difference between a good video that has like a great thumbnail and an equally good video that has a below average thumbnail is a lot of views. Like, the video that has a good thumbnail is going to get like you know, 2 to 5 times more views. On average, it's going to get like 3 times more views than an equally good video that has an average or below average thumbnail. And so that's where I'm at now. Now I'm like, okay, the thumbnail has to be good too. Like the thumbnail and the title are literally as important as the video itself. So I'm curious to see where I go next. Mario, welcome to the stream. Blake, welcome to the stream. Mario, are you in this KVK? What's your name? And what kingdom are you in? $2,000 views. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. 2,000 subs. Hell yes. Thank you all. Thank you all. Love it. Love it. Love it. Hell yeah. Thank you everyone who subscribed tonight. Thank you everyone who supported the channel, who has supported the channel for a long time. Thank you to all the members who were in the chat tonight. Natsu, Algebra. Thank you to Lambo, who, you know, has helped me grow as well. Lambo has redirected his stream to mine on a number of occasions. I still owe Lambo some redirects along the way. But very happy to hit 2,000 subs. Awesome. Awesome. And we're just going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving on YouTube for sure. This has become a pretty good side hustle for me. It's something that I, you know, I'm putting more and more effort into YouTube because it's a side hustle that has a real future. For those who have noticed that, you know, there's like more and more YouTube content, ROK content creators. A big reason for that is Lilith. Lilith does a lot to incentivize content creators. They do a lot to reward content creators. Lilith is a big reason why I am making as much content as I do. Obviously, you know, I also do the Osiris League broadcasts. I'm going to be broadcasting the Grand Prix next week. That's another great way that Lilith supports me. So, you know, I do thank everybody who subbed tonight. I thank everybody who has supported my channel for a long time. But I have to thank Lilith as well. You know, I have to thank Agus and Okta and everybody who is involved from the Lilith team in supporting content creators. They have a very, very good program. And it's, you know, for some people, I don't know that it doesn't necessarily does a lot. You know, some people make a good living doing other things and all that. I am a small business owner who has a lot of ups and downs in my business, and my business is being hit pretty hard by AI. So for me, the support that Lilith gives is a big deal, and it really, you know, it really motivates me to do a lot more content. So I'm going to continue to do it and grow the channel and hopefully connect with you all more, right? Start having a webcam when I'm doing these live streams. Maybe open a Discord down the road and work on building the community a little bit more. I think maybe after the revelation that the thumbnail really matters, maybe the next revelation I will have is that community really matters as well. Looks like 2359 may get a burn here, actually. They pushed back 1316 at the right time. Very well-timed attack here. They are swarming this flag. You know, this is something that 1316 could defend. Looks, they've got a farm here. I don't know if that's a farm. But two big players here and a farm here. They're keeping this pretty full, and now they're getting close enough to swarm this rally. This one is close. This one is close. If I had to bet on it, I would bet on the attackers. That garrison just looks very low. The white numbers... Actually, the white numbers are higher on the rally, actually. The white numbers are higher on the rally. So actually, it looks like this thing's going to hold. Looks like they will defend here. Looks like Annie's going to run this thing down. Zug Ash are doing a lot of AoE. These 13-16 marches under this rally are taking a lot of damage. Captain swap. The captain swap to the Hera. Nice captain swap by 13-16. Very professionally done. But then it goes to the Scipio. The Hera was probably very low. It probably was not a fresh captain. The Scipio holding strong now. The rally pops. The Scipio garrison, they get the Hera back in there. I wonder if that was a swap off the Hera. It may have been a swap off the Hera, a mistake. Hard to say. They get the burn. There's the burn. Very close. Very, very close fight there. Red team does ultimately get the burn. Probably a very expensive fight on both sides, I would imagine. I would imagine we are talking about somewhere around 1 million deads per side there. It would be my guess. We'll see if we can find Rex 3251. I don't know if this is... I don't think this is... I don't think that's their side. Maybe he's on this side? Yeah, not really sure what 3251 is, Mario. And don't want to stray too far from this action. Even though this KVK is pretty much over, some good action for sure. So definitely some good action. You can see that... Well, you can see that 13-16 does have a lot of territory. It looks like their allies are in blue here. It's purple and blue are allied together. You can see that blue is just burning like everywhere. You know, blue is just burning everywhere, and so that's kind of why this feels a bit over. This is Mario's kingdom here. House of Lannister. House of Lannister. House of Lannister seems to be putting in the most effective work here. Their opponent is easier for sure. Their opponent is easier than Earth's opponent, but you can see that 13-16 does have a lot of territory. They're letting this flag burn. Interesting. Interesting. So Annie's rally came from a long way away. Really weird angle on Annie's rally. So Annie was the rally that hit this flag. Very weird angle. Kind of amazing that they made that work. They just because they had the open field. Well, their field pushed from over here. Right? Their field pushed from over here. You wonder if 13-16 can right the ship here as they come into their uptime. Yeah, it looks like my stream health is not great, unfortunately. I'll have to tweak the settings after this. But if 13-16 is really going to defend, then they probably will extinguish here. I mean, they have a back flag, so they're not going to lose a ton. They're not going to lose a ton. But this is kind of awkward for pink, right? They don't have a lot of cities over here, and their ball tends to be more in this area. So if they want to actually ball up and attack this flag, which Okay, you can see that they're just going to make sure that they get the job done here. Really no field from 1316. Oh, 1316 is over here. Defending. I mean, they kind of need to be here and swarm this down because this Yan ain't going to do it, but... Yeah, 1316 is over here. Not doing a whole lot. Whereas 2359 is like, let's make sure these flags burn, right? Because I think they can touch this one, or no, they no longer can. I think they used to be able to touch this flag, now they can't, right? Yeah. And this flag connects a lot of stuff, it looks like. Well, maybe. It's hard to tell. Probably not. Whoever got water was going to lose. Probably true. Yeah, probably true. All right, let's see what kind of a report Mario has. Or this is just where the action is. I mean, not too much going on here, really. Bit of a mismatch of balls at the moment. They're probably going to build another flag here, I'm guessing. One thing, so this King's Line did not open that long ago. Like I think we caught like basically the opening of this KL. And one thing you're seeing is that not a lot of tiles are being gathered by 1316, but 2359, you know, they just have enough control right now. They're gathering a lot of tiles. They're gathering a lot of their tiles. You know, once you get comfortable and you sort of like tell people to gather, and gatherers can be safe, like they're just safe enough that people are like gonna send marches out. And these are just like little farms that walked into the zone. This is how you kind of like... This is how you leverage an early advantage in Kingsland. This is like actually a very big part of leveraging an early advantage in Kingsland, is just like getting all these tiles farmed up and opening up a ton of teleport space. I mean, these tiles, man, these Kingsland tiles are just brutal, bro. But they're opening up a lot of teleport space right now. This is obviously an actual effort, an organized effort. There's like a marker up saying, gather these friggin' tiles, you jabronis. And that just becomes a huge advantage, because you can see that 1316... I mean, they're gathering some tiles. They're gathering tiles. They're gathering tiles too. Yeah, they're gathering tiles as well. They are. Both teams are. But okay, so this is Earth as well. Yeah, Earth is feeling pretty confident right now over here. Like 16OT should just kill this flag, man. They should just like not let them build this flag. Like honestly, like, they have a ball right here. They have a ball right here. They have a ball right here. They know the main enemy ball is over here. They know the main enemy ball is over here. Like just as a, like out of self-respect, you should not let them build this flag. This is a very disrespectful flag. This is a very disrespectful flag right here. I mean, this flag touches... I think it touches this one, right? No. Touches 1, 2. Well, it only touches 2 flags, but these are like pretty deep flags. You know? I don't know. I think if you're 13-16, you come over here and you take the win. Like, get the win. Oh, here they come. Here they come. Yeah, you just take the win, you know? I mean, you're just looking for good moments at this point. You know you're going to lose. You're just looking for good moments. So yeah, come on over here and kill this thing. It sort of works for Earth, where like they're gonna get one of these flags up probably. Although honestly, the 13-16 ball could probably maybe get both of these flags down. I think they could possibly get both of these flags down. Look at it, man. Actually, a lot of open field for Earth. They've got like multiple large groups of open field. Pretty good numbers overall. I would say pretty good numbers for both teams in this war. These are some solid balls for sure. But this group here is going to get swamped. This flag is going to get swarmed down. Pretty good play by both teams tonight, all in all. You know, two pretty good groups fighting here. Here comes the swarm. Oh, looks like they're a little bit afraid. 9 minutes left. They got this thing surrounded. I guess they're gonna wait for the rally. I don't know. You don't just swarm this down? I feel like most kingdoms just swarm this down. Call me crazy. I guess good self-control by 16OT here to not just swarm it. But, like, oh, so here, the rally's coming very soon, because you wonder about, like, you know what I mean? Like, this ball here... They're kind of like, yeah, pretty cool movement by Earth Camp here. Where they're just like accomplishing a lot while like, this is almost a distraction. This was almost like a very useful distraction. Because 16OT seems to only be able to do like one thing at a time. Whereas Earth is doing multiple things at a time. And this is the rare scenario where the Justinian-Nevsky rally actually works. This is where you want to use the Justinian-Nevsky. Does great damage when it's not swarmed. It's just rarely the case, you know? So now they're going to come back here. Actually, they're just going to fight. They're just going to fight. These two balls are just going to fight. Or they're going to run. Interesting. Earth assessing that they don't have the numbers. So they're just going to run away. And they're cutting off the back of the ball. This is actually kind of a nice thing to do, is when the enemy has like a very overwhelming ball, what you want to do is you want to just like attack the back of it. Or cut it off. You know, you cut off the tail. You know, you cut off the tail of a ball like this, because that's all you can do. That's all you can accomplish. They're not really cutting off the tail at this point. They're chasing the tail. And Earth is running. 16OT is chasing. And all the meanwhile, this flag is getting built. 12 minutes left here. Look at this ball is not, well, they have a lot of field, man. Earth has a lot of field. Earth has a lot of field here. So this is 2359. Shockey is often in my chat. He's talked about this kingdom a lot. 4-star kingdom. Top 8 in, or top 32 in Osiris League. Looks like they're Canadian? Kingdom of Alberta? Not often that you see an explicitly Canadian kingdom. But there's always something new, eh? So 1316 getting a little distracted by the shiny object here. And they're letting this flag get built. She's trying to open up some teleport space with this fort, but this rally is going to get swarmed down before the fort gets killed, I think? Maybe not. Asta coming in to save the day. Nice save. Very nice save there. Now another player swarming this. You take the bad trade here. Gypsy, come on, Gypsy. Gypsy Danger, who is a subscriber and viewer to this stream. Gypsy should have kept swarming this thing. You can't let this fort get destroyed. Look, this dude... Yeah, so Asta's dead. The forts are... Yeah, there you go. Oh, Blue X. Yeah. Blue X, I did see your... Blue X, I did see your comment, so I will show you that. I will show you the Attila gear. It might be at home. Okay, it is at home. So this is what I used, Blue. This is the gear. Tier 2, all critted, except for the Vengeance. Tier 2, Con Helmet. Tier 2 Chest. Tier 4, Sacred Dominion. Tier 4, Ash of the Dawn. Tier 2, Navarre's Control. Tier 2 Boots. Tier 4 Ring of Doom, and a basic Vengeance. And then actually the armaments that I used was this one. I have 2 arch formations. I have this one. This is my open field arch formation set. And I went with this because A, it has a lot of march speed. This has like 10.5% march speed when you include the inscriptions. It also has Breaker, which is very good for a counter rally. And Cohesive is pretty good for a counter rally too. I could have used my Garrison set, which would have given me more normal attack damage. But in a counter rally situation, I actually thought the march speed was kind of useful just to get there a little bit quicker. So yeah, these are the armaments that I used, and this is the gear on that counter rally. Yeah, pretty great KP on that counter rally. Pretty great KP. Pretty great KP on that counter rally. Well, I didn't save very many reports. I didn't rally very much. Oh, maybe I didn't save that report. I guess I didn't save the report, but yeah, 21 million KP. Oh, there it is. Maybe. Yeah, here it is. Here's the report that Blue is referring to. This was my counter rally against Gosu's rally. This thing lasted for 18 seconds. This counter rally lasted for 18 seconds. It was swarmed down by a lot of people. But in 18 seconds, look at how many kill points I got. Almost 22 million kill points in 18 seconds. This is why people like to join counter rallies. And this is why, you know, Sword of Stratagems is like actually a kind of a cool KVK with the instant counter rallies. Because even if the enemy has like total field control, you can just run like non-stop counter rallies and it will do damage to the rally you will get like a decent trade. I mean, you can have like a really nice counter rally like Attila Lucci in stratagems. And you just get a lot of KP. You know what I mean? You just get a lot of KP. It was a good report, but like I didn't really accomplish much. Like I didn't accomplish very much other than getting kill points. In my opinion. Like I didn't really do that much damage to the counter to the rally. Like the rally stayed up and stuff like that. I didn't do that much damage to it. I just like weakened the marches that were like around the rally. And got a lot of KP. Which is fine with me, right? I enjoy it. I like making people happy. I like launching stuff that like people are thrilled to join, right? As someone who... I'm going to go Earth Camp point of view. I think their point of view is the most dynamic here. As someone who's been a Cav Garrison for years now, and, you know, people like begrudgingly join my Cav Garrisons, and I'm always like looking at the report and being like, I guess that report was okay, you know? I mean, I guess. It's nice to have at least have a counter rally that people really like to join. And people do really like to join my Attila counter rallies because, yeah, the KP is fantastic. But you know what, guys? We reached the goal of 2,000 subs. I'm clearly having some buffering issues with this stream. 2,000 subs, but your boy still doesn't know how to set up his OBS settings correctly to not have lag. Up to 2,003 subs now. It's been a successful stream. Do throw a like on it if you haven't done that yet. I should spectate KVKs more often. This seems to be something that people enjoy, so I should probably do it more often, but... really did enjoy the stream tonight. Very glad to hit 2,000 subs. I will have a video out later this weekend. If you are a football fan, please enjoy college football tomorrow. Enjoy the NFL on Sunday. I've got a bunch of bets that I'll be sweating. Go Titans. Go Kansas, West Virginia under. Go Tennessee Vols tomorrow. For those who are not from America and don't know what I'm talking about American football, which we are well into football season now, and everyone's weekend is being... Not everyone's, but a lot of us, our weekends are being dominated by football. It's a great sweat, especially when you have some money on the games. But this stream was a great way to kick off the weekend. Thank you all for hanging out. Wildy, appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.